It's time for the Ghostfire Media Network podcast show, featuring the stars of iRacing's IVRL and the AOLL. Now, here's your host, the Ghostfire Media Network crew.
Tuesday night. That was embarrassing.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Ghostfire Media Podcast. I'm your host, Larry Patrick.
And I am Randy Pepper, the host of the IVRL and the AOLL TNT division.
Ow. Damn, Randy. I'm Nick Adams, the broadcaster, producer, director of the IVRL Butt Kicker Cup Series here on Ghostfire Media, and a pretty special guy.
You drove that one on really long.
I couldn't think of what I was trying to say.
Holy cow.
Leave me alone.
He's special.
Wood, I am one of the broadcasters for the TNT Guitar Addict series for AOLL. And this is my good buddy, Josh Laston.
Well, Josh,
Thank you, Adam. I'm Josh Laston. I am the broadcaster for the AOLL Cup Series. And just looking forward to another week of watching Larry get drunk on camera.
Hey, I'm joining in with him this week.
we're prepared, guys.
Hey,
We're prepared.
at least he's got Tito's on there tonight.
We got the cheers here, okay?
I ate Tito's last week. Hey, so we're going to have a good one here tonight, guys. Obviously, we get to talk with Harvey Abrams from IVRL. Didn't screw that one up. Caught myself. We get to talk dirt racing, and I'm excited about that. New Bristol Dirt just came out. Obviously, NASCAR ran it on, Thursday, I believe? Wednesday. So we're going to get to talk about Bristol Dirt. We're going to get to talk about the truck series as always. A little bit of controversy in the TNT, so that's going to be fun. And then we're going to talk about preparing for the Dirt on Sunday, and that's going to be AOLL. So without further ado, let's bring in our guest, Harvey Abrams, guys.
Larry, when is there not a little bit of controversy in either the Thursday night league or the Sunday night? We've essentially started the podcast every week. It's a little bit of controversy here. Let's talk about it.
We got to get there. Right now, we're kicking
there,
in.
Yeah.
So, hey, let's introduce Harvey. Harvey, man, how you doing tonight?
Pretty good. How about you boys?
We're just kicking up, man. Just kicking up. So give us a little bit about you there, Harvey. Car number, what you drive, and who you drive for.
Well, my name's Harvey Abrams. No, I drive the 79 Dude Wipes Mustang and IVRL. Not doing very good this year.
Dude Wipes.
I just want to point out.
I've been waiting, Harvey, for you to reach out to me and get me that sponsorship that I've been pushing for by constantly showing Dude Wipes at the back of the pack.
Man, I'm still waiting for something here, too. They haven't reached back and nothing.
I want to point out, Adam started this at the beginning of the season. He said that you were going to send the broadcast team some Dude Wipes. I've checked my mail every day in anticipation. I ain't got them yet.
Hey, I told Adam if I won the truck race last year, I'd send everybody Dude Wipes, and I still have not won a truck race.
Hey, Adam, we got to wreck people, man. Get this dude a win.
Yeah, wreck anybody, especially cause it.
I mean, hell, you almost won a dirt race, so that was put on.
Yeah, you got close.
Hell
man.
of a show.
He almost won it until he just wanted to wave at me. He turned around backward, just wanted to wave at me and see where I was at the back.
That was probably the best part about Tuesday night was, Harvey, you were at the front, and then you were at the back, and then you came back to the front, and then, you went back to the back. But it was awesome to watch you go through the field.
Yeah, it was fun. That one still hurts. Man, so they done an update last Friday, and I was so pissed. Man, I was so pissed. I about threw my computer in the street. They just made the car way too damn tight, and I don't know. I was having trouble there once it started to slick off. it was fun running the wall, but man, once it started to slick off, I couldn't get back to the bottom, and I don't know, man. Getting back up to the front after going to the back, I was pretty upset.
Hey, I just want to say that Will Cannon, he's listening or watching, and he said he supports the please wreck Causey cause as he threw out there, and he's backing you up. He said he was super pissed.
I mean, if we put a poll up in the IVRL Discord, they'd probably all vote for, you want to see Kazi win, or would you like to wreck Kazi? They're all going to vote to wreck Kazi.
Yeah, most likely.
He's been like
not a personal thing,
Brock
though.
Lesnar. Yeah, he's been like Brock Lesnar when he came back to the WWE. He was like, I'm just going to kill everybody and win everything.
Yeah, but that's scripted. This is not scripted.
I don't know.
Hey, listen.
So
it's been hard to tell people it's not.
Yeah. You remember the saying is pro wrestling is real, people are fake? Or I think it's the other way around. Either way.
And the hair dye's getting Randy again. And I can say that because he doesn't drink. So
Yeah.
I think we're all going to need a drink.
All jimers. I'm getting all jimers.
This is why
Harvey,
I drink so much.
It's because of the
I
just
know
the
your pain,
tip.
Harvey, man. All night on Tuesday after I got wrecked, I forgot somebody ran into somebody else, and they doored Patrick, and Patrick doored me into the inside wall. I had like 8 minutes to repair, came back out, and I was one of the fastest cars from what these guys were telling me. And I would start at the very end of the line, about 22nd, work my way all the way up until about 12th place, maybe 10th, and then a caution would come out, and they'd kick me back to the rear, and I had to continue to pass everybody all night long. But I was able to get that bottom hooked. I basically made it run like a actual Bristol track and not a dirt track. I almost got ran over many times. Jaded and Gimbal didn't like that. I would brake heavily going in the corner, but I would pick 1 to 2 spots off. I see him just like slide in and have to stop and then continue on. I was like, man, we're on the bottom and there's people on the outside. I'm not trying to slide in and ruin somebody else's day being lapped down, but I'm going to pick these spots off left and right.
Yeah, man, I suck at Bristol, the original Bristol. So the dirt was kind of, I don't know, it made it a little bit better for me.
So
What-
I did
what do you
want to
think-
ask. It did seem like throughout the race, everybody just tried to hug the high line as much to get some of that loose dirt. Was it nerve-wracking running that high all night?
Yeah. What's the show rated? Is it PG-13?
We tend to keep a little bit of the cursing out, but we do curse a little bit. I mean, obviously, the
It
alcohol is
slips out.
involved, and
All right. Well, I needed to know before I popped out this answer, but I'm gonna quote CJ Leary from Eldora there a couple years ago. Man, you just got to throw your nuts over your shoulder and bang the boards. I mean, that's the only way you
Fine
can
with
move
that.
forward, man. I mean, it's slicked off, and of course, I became best friends with the wall. I still owe it dinner, but I can't run the bottom, man. I can't catfish like that. I just gotta go for it.
I was going to say, you were consistently hugging that wall and putting that right front in the wall all night. It's pretty interesting. I was just waiting to see, you pull off the track and hear over the radio, well, that's it for me. I broke the right front.
I'm actually surprised that I didn't, because there was a couple times I slapped it pretty good, and I think one time, I can't remember if it was front or back stretch, but I climbed up on top of the wall, and I got pretty scared right there. I thought we were going to go for a hell of a ride.
We were all over that in the broadcast. Randy, actually, before the race, me and Randy were talking about how many times we thought we were going to see people flipping, and surprisingly, there was none.
Yeah, we didn't see any flipping. We saw a lot of guys just running that outside line like you were running, and I figured, the way everybody was running that race, running against that wall, you might drop out after 40, maybe 50 laps, and then, we would thin out the herd, but you guys are running that outside line and just banging off the wall and staying in the race the whole time. I was surprised.
Well, I think there was, I don't know, the way they did Bristol dirt, the cushion went away to where there was pretty much no cushion at all. I mean, it was probably 6 inches of dirt there before you got to the wall. So it was really hard to get the right rear up against it, just because how long the rear end of the car is. And So I don't know if maybe it was just so close to the wall whenever we was tapping it, it wasn't tearing it up. But I'm really surprised that we didn't have more problems than what we did.
Yeah, only problem I noticed is when it started to slick off down the actual back straightaways. You come off the corner, you're gunning it 3/4 way down the straightaways, like the rear end want to start fishtailing, and then throws your corner entrance way off by doing that.
Yeah, I had that bite me a lot coming off the corners. Just couldn't keep it straight, but I couldn't get out of the gas because I got out of the gas and I couldn't get the power back down, and I didn't want past.
Yeah, I feel like that something when it's an unknown, it tends to make people a little more cautious. I mean, were you a little bit more cautious than you normally are in a race?
Honestly, the way that I felt after the heat race and at the beginning, I just said to hell with it. We're going to go for it. I mean, you guys seen me go from down to 17th, work my way back up to 3rd, and I mean, I was just going for it. I seen some guys that was a little bit slower, and I wasn't going to dick around behind them. I mean, it was go time.
I was in the first heat, and we didn't get the new track. You guys got the new track for the second heat, and the first thing I saw was the very first corner, Harvey dropping it low all the way to the bottom, and then slide up in between three players. I think he made past 3 people in one corner, and then the next corner he did the exact same thing. He drove it down low, stuck, and then power slided out of the corner in front of the cars and just continue on. He went from like 7th to 1st in a lap and a half.
Yeah, I started 10th, and I don't know if they got into each other in front of me, but man, I seen a fresh track at the bottom, and I got it to hook up, and I was gone. I think I got maybe first or maybe second at the end of the first lap, but by the second lap, I was gone.
Yeah,
it was an interesting race to watch you do that stuff. I was, like I said, I really thought you would not last that race, and that heat, you just took off and like, what? We haven't talked about Harvey all season really that much, but there you were.
Not in a good way.
Not in a good way. No.
Yeah, and that was something I wanted to touch on. I'm assuming you've talked to a lot of the guys. You guys seem to all be kind of close. I feel like most people feel like Tuesday night was kind of a missed opportunity. Being that, especially being that we've seen Kazi be pretty consistently dominant all season, except for the one track that he spun out at, and that's the only way we got another winner. And looking at it, there were so many guys who were so fast on Tuesday night in something that nobody's done, so it kind of levels the playing field of bringing a 3,500-pound stock car to a 19-degree banked tiny Bristol that shouldn't have dirt on it in the first place, but made for an amazing show. To have somebody that's not Joseph Kazi not win that race, that must really pain you.
Yeah, I felt really, really good about it, especially going in. And once it started slicking off, man, I just didn't get enough practice on the slick. And once it started slicking off, man, I didn't want to leave the top. And then everybody started to run the bottom. And by the time I felt like I could get down there and run, I just couldn't get back down there. I'd say towards the end, I felt like I had a probably second or third place car. But man, Causey came out of nowhere. I don't know what lap it was, but I looked in the mirror and I was seeing Blake and Nick back there fighting. And then all of a sudden Causey, and I thought, shit, here we go. But yeah, I mean, there was some really good guys up there, like me and Nicholas. I think he was saying we're dirt guys. I grew up around dirt racing. It's what I've always loved. It's what I've done, and I really, really should have capitalized. And just a bonehead mistake at the end.
What do you say? That's what you've done. What I mean, did you do it in real life, or are you just a fan?
Well, my dad and my uncle, they raced dirt cars forever growing up, and I'd never got a chance to get in a dirt car. I mean, I ran dirt karts, but me and my dad ran karts for a few years. But I mean, I grew up at the track, been to the track every weekend, and it's just what I grew up around.
Okay. Well, I wondered about that, because you said around dirt. I didn't know if you actually were a sprint car driver or what, but karts, I mean, that's close enough, man. I mean, you had some experience of how the track would work in a real car.
Honestly, the way these cars felt, they almost felt like a kart on dirt. I mean, just barely getting it sideways, and you just got to hook it and run it like an asphalt almost. I mean, it doesn't act like a dirt track.
But John just posted. He said, Harvey, the karts helped a little bit.
Yeah, they really did. I could say that they helped. I mean, they handled it almost like a cart, and you go in, you get off the throttle and right at the entry, and just feather it back out. When the kart track, when it starts to slick off, it gets the same way. I think it probably did help a little bit.
I think anything's got to help. You guys everybody was kind of green going into that whole thing, being the first time anybody's run dirt in a stock car like that. So, I mean, any experience that had to have some kind of effect on. Causey said that he actually was on a dirt team at one time, so that that's why he had so much experience.
Yeah, I used to run a couple dirt, or be in a couple dirt leagues last season, so that helped. And I was running for probably about a month before Bristol came out. I was running the car at Eldora, and that's what made me so damn mad about them changing the setup and the way they did the update.
So, Harvey, for a lot of people who don't know you, how did the love and the want to be sponsored by Dude Wipes come to life? Because I feel like that's an interesting sponsor.
So I'm a big Matt DiBenedetto fan, and I think it was 2017 at Pocono he ran a Dude Wipes car, and for some reason it was a plain Jane car, but I thought that thing looked just absolutely gorgeous on track, and it's a weird sponsor. I knew nobody else would pick it, so I went ahead and picked it up, started running it. I've been running it ever since.
Have you ever met Matt?
No, I have not got the chance to. I'd love to, though.
He's a really nice guy. He really is. But he's a big boy. I mean, he's stout. I mean, you don't realize it, but that guy, you take that uniform off of him, and he's in a t-shirt and a pair of shorts. He works out. He's built. Trust me.
Yeah,
So,
it looks
Randy,
like he lifts all the time.
Are you telling me that he doubles up on the Dude Wipes?
I'll tell you, he's using the whole box.
You sounded really infatuated right there for a second, man. I'm not gonna lie. I wish my wife talked about me the way you just talked about that man. But Jesus.
Randy, on Tuesday, can you just tell everybody, hey, I gotta tell everybody something. I just love Matt DiBenedetto.
No, I'm not gonna say. I like he likes Matt DiBenedetto. I'll say the dude is.
We
got
it.
We got it.
Randy,
You know, hot Matt for you.
No. He's not a hot mess for me, man.
Dan.
Oh, see, look, now you jacked Nick all up.
That Dude Wipe thing has got him all flustered. Yeah. Man, I had some Dude Wipes. I can wipe all day.
I want to point out this whole episode so far has been a free advertisement for Dude Wipes. Nick's about to get done and walk over and be like, "Honey, look, I'm a little drunk. Can you go get me some Dude Wipes? My butt needs to feel fresher. Okay, I need the freshness."
This portion of the podcast
sponsored by Dude Wipes for all your duty needs.
Don't worry. If Dude Wipes is listening, Josh Laston will be reaching out to you in a little bit. He's our marketing guy.
I was ready to say the marketing guru.
Hey, when you get done, send them my way.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going
to
be the first call. You get the first box because you're the one bringing it to the crew.
Oh my goodness!
I told him I'd give him plenty of advertisement.
Well, they're getting it right now. I'm telling you that. Hey, so where's IVRL up this week?
We're off this week.
That's sad. That's
yep.
sad.
So
yeah,
we have a
it's
nice
Easter
week
break. it's the Easter break, so we'll be off, and then the following Tuesday we'll come back at Martinsville.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so great to have a Tuesday night off all by myself. Oh,
you know what? I don't gotta listen to Randy on Tuesday night.
I don't have to listen, Nick.
Holy schmoly!
Hey, listen. Do you know what you know how you create a good catchphrase? You get other people to realize that that's what you say all the time.
Oh man, I almost did it like 18 times last
night. Hey, do you know why you say it? Because it's a good line. It just works. I can't say "holy shit" on a IVRL broadcast. Holy schmoly! It's PG. It's sponsor friendly. You know.
Sure you can. We do all the time.
But they can't hear you.
That's in race chat.
Yeah.
Listen, I have to put like a 5-second delay on at the end of the stream when we bring everybody in for the interviews because I'm afraid of what you guys are going to say. I've got my little beep ready. Like, especially when Will Cannon won, I had to worry about him because I was like, oh boy, it's coming. He's excited.
You don't broadcast the race chat then.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually going to start doing radioactive. There's going to be a lot of beeps and.
Especially after Phoenix, I got a little upset.
Everybody got upset at Phoenix.
Harvey, who were you upset at?
Well, at first I was upset at Causey, or not Causey, but Converse. They ran me into the wall.
Oh, we like controversy. So what happened?
Please.
Well, I was running second, and he come up and just kept coming up and coming up and coming up, and I ran out of track.
I remember that.
Looking at it, I mean, it looks like a racing incident. It probably was, but from my point of view, I got ran into the wall.
Good moment here. Hot Carl has finally joined the group.
Hey, have you?
Hot Carl is here with Hot Harvey, and apparently Randy Hot for Matt DiBenedetto.
Whoa, he's so big.
Wait a minute. Wait,
he's big. How is he big, Randy?
He's like.
I think he might be a little bit bigger than that.
I like the hat.
He's the size of Nick, but all stout, all muscles.
6'5" version of him.
Wait, I gotta ask Josh Laston then. Josh, do you think Matt DiBenedetto is older than me, or do you think I'm older than Matt DiBenedetto? Who looks older?
I'm not biting on that one.
Do you think Matt has a better hairline than I do? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
He has
less
money.
Forehead.
You know what?
That's the secret to having one.
Last I saw Matt, his hair was kind of taking a run to the other side too. I'm just saying.
So, all right. So, real quick, where's IVRL headed to next? Then, so obviously the
Martinsville in 2 weeks.
Martinsville.
Short track Tuesday night for I think it's just. Hold on. I can tell you exactly how many laps it is.
Like 275 or 250.
Woo!
Too many.
We do 60% races, so I think it might be 300 laps.
I have to stay away from Adam.
Yeah, definitely stay away from Adam, man. Are you gonna take the extra time and prepare, or you gonna take the time and just chill out and relax?
I've been working on it already. I'm not very good there, and I don't want to repeat of last year.
Fair enough. Well, what happened last year? I don't think I caught that one.
Well, Adam can tell you.
I think I forget about everything, man. I'm sorry.
Okay, well that's
good. Everybody put masks on at this point. What the hell? You know, Randy, that's an improvement for you, buddy.
Dude's over here trying to be flip hop.
Very much.
I might have cost Adam a spot in the championship 4, possibly.
Nah, I think it came down. It was Tom.
It was between you and Tom.
And since Josh couldn't make it,
I think Tom gained a couple spots after I put you in the bleachers.
It was Phoenix. It didn't matter anyway. I had no shot. It would just been I would have finished 4th overall instead of like 6th or 5th or whatever I finished.
And then we ain't going to discuss what happened in the truck race there earlier this year.
Well, I mean, overall, man, you've been running good all season. I mean, for the most part, right? Like, unfortunately, I have not caught any races. 60%'s a little long for me. I like to go to bed early. So,
I'd be doing a lot better if I didn't suck. That's my biggest problem.
I know that feeling.
Harvey, to be honest with you, it's the same thing I keep watching with Cody McKinney. I don't think you guys suck. I just think you have shit luck.
Yeah,
I mean, you have some of the worst
My
luck
luck
I've
on
ever
out of
seen.
lap
A
5
little bit
on
of
both
both.
on races so far.
You seem to get caught up in all the stuff that's not of your creation.
Hey, I'm just happy. Last week, that was the first race I finished on the lead lap, and the week before that is the first race I didn't get in a wreck.
Well, you can't say that about the first race you finished in the lead lap because you wrecked yourself twice.
I still finished on the lead lap.
Yeah, he got you on that one, man.
Hey,
I
I
can't wait to
you
do that
were,
this season.
I
you were a
had
highlight reel.
I thought I had it at Daytona, and I came through the grass, and Cody just came down in front of me. Other than that, I thought I had it clear.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's one thing about IVRL. I mean, it demands you to be perfect all race long because one mistake, one incident, it can ruin your car, and that ruins your night. That's a tragic thought when you think of how long those races are. I mean, think about that. You could run 270 laps at 300 laps, and you could have a guy like Adam come up, tap your rear end, go spin, and hit the wall, and you're done.
But
You can
Adam
ask
loves
Adam.
giving just the tip too. So.
Well, I mean, Adam is like the least nice driver on the track, though.
You can ask Adam, man. These guys are freaking good. Like, they are good. Yeah, you got to be perfect all race long. You got to learn safe tires and be fast. And I can't do both. It's one or the other for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Martinsville's going to be a beast overall, though, for all of us because everybody's competitive. Everybody's going to have different braking zones, and everybody's going to always try to go that 1 foot extra, maybe then 2 feet. Hey, I made it to that point. Maybe I can go another 1 or 2 feet. And they're going to push the issue, and somebody's going to get rear-ended. Somebody's going to be end up in the wall, and there's a lot of tempers going to flare, in my opinion. I can't wait, man. It's going to be awesome. Maybe I can finish on the lead lap and hopefully just battle nutrition and just bide my time till the end.
Yeah, I just hope I'm not on the front row on the outside again for a restart.
So I
Might
got
not be bad. Actually, Martinsville, that might not be a bad thing.
No, you get railroaded.
Yeah, it was bad. I pulled the biggest bonehead move. I don't know if Nick was in the booth for that or who was, but I pulled a really bonehead move in the truck series, like the preseason. It was on the outside of a green-white checkered. And I was looking out the door, and I just kept looking out the door and not ahead of me. And
Oh, yeah, you spun right out of everybody.
yeah, I drove right across to Tom's nose and wrecked us both.
I
as
wasn't
the
there
green
for
was
that.
coming.
But me and Larry,
Yeah, I was
can
going to say,
only
when were you
imagine-
broadcasting?
I'm glad you wasn't, because your voice would have been gone.
I can only. Hey,
he
listen.
would have been holy smoly.
No,
I'm pretty sure a shit would have popped out there.
I'm pretty sure shit would have popped out
If
there.
anybody hasn't realized this about me, I don't give a rat's ass about on broadcast calling somebody out for doing something dumb. Because what are you gonna do? You can come up in the booth and punch me in the face?
Well, you guys remember, was it Kevin LePage at Daytona a long time ago when he just pulled out in front of their whole pack?
Yeah.
How
do
can you
remember.
not? That was
This
the
was-
dumbest thing in the history of NASCAR.
It was until then.
I don't know, Harvey. I mean, we were in the trucks, I think, wasn't it, or was it the Cup cars?
Yeah, it was
And,
definitely
No.
trucks.
It was AOLL, and I went to pass on the outside, and I was on the lead lap, and somebody a lap down took a hard right turn and just smacked me, and completely wrecked me out of the race. Like,
Well, at
That's
least
not
that
the
was,
dumbest thing that's ever happened, though. The dumbest thing that ever happened was 2 weeks ago on the TNT series, under caution, after pitting for tires.
yeah,
I destroyed myself into the wall, and then I was like, I'll get the car fixed, I'll come back out, and
spun
30
right
seconds
away.
later, I spun around and took out Anthony Cirillo.
Literally
So,
coming out of the pits.
Yeah,
at least that was under
the
green
dumbest
flag.
thing of all time. No, the first one was under caution.
yeah.
I spun across his nose going 40 miles an hour.
It was ridiculous.
You
All right.
spun out at 40. Did
That's
everybody else behind you just pile in?
Oh, I got
Well,
stuck
look-
in the wall.
Luckily, he spun because he was number 2. He went like this, spun in front of his nose, and was out of the way. And whenever he did, it was ridiculous. He was able to almost enter the pits if there was a pit entry because he just hit the inside wall and everybody went around him.
I should have used the excuse of my wheel disconnected, but I didn't. Think
Or it just came off your desk.
My wheels came off the desk.
I was checking my phone.
Sorry, I fell out of my chair.
The back fell off my chair, and we've heard some good ones,
Yeah,
man.
we've heard them all.
But
We weren't GFM yet, but I was streaming a TNT series race one night. This was when we were back in the street stock, and we were coming to the green flag, and I looked at my phone, and I think Phil Manzo was in front of me. We're teammates. And I looked down at my phone to check a text message, and all of a sudden, I feel a bump in my wheel, and I look up, and Phil's just going around and around, and I'm like, oh, well, I don't know what happened there. But
I could see Nick doing something like that.
So,
it's like, it wasn't me.
Nick, do you know Don? Don Wiki?
No.
No? Because he seems to get text messages while he's driving, too.
Probably Nick. Nick's out there.
I have never checked a text message under green, and since that day, I've never checked a text message during a race that I'm not on pit road.
Well,
That's the joy of VR is you don't even have the option.
That's a good point. Hey, so we're gonna wrap it up here, man. Harvey, man, we really appreciate you coming out for this one, and we definitely hope to have you back.
Yeah, for sure. It was fun coming on here.
Hey, Harvey, you only have to do one thing. Finish up towards the front of the pack, and we'll have you back on. Otherwise, we'll see you whenever, man.
Or
Hey,
send me. Send
Slowly
me.
but surely.
Hey, send me some dude wipes, and I'll pull you on as many times as you want to come on, man.
Harvey, in 2
I
weeks
dictate
at
the guests.
Martinsville- In 2 weeks at Martinsville, you're my pick because I usually pick you because I like your scheme. So
Don't
eventually,
do that.
that's gonna. Hey,
Yeah.
You did that at Daytona.
Commentator's curse.
It happened.
if you get
Commentators
wrecked
curse.
because the commentators curse, it won't matter if you're 23rd.
I'll
I
probably
don't
be
like
pretty
when I
far-
do like the commentators curse on like Adam and he's second and then he wrecks himself.
Honestly,
Adam's never second, so that's actually never happened.
I'm not looking too forward to Martinsville. Richmond maybe and Talladega, but not a Martinsville.
Don't give me a surprise. Just no surprises.
Surprise.
Surprise.
Hey, man. Hey, well, good luck to you in a couple weeks, man. We'll definitely talk to you again.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Have a good
Have
night.
Good night.
All right. And with that being said, hey, let's go ahead and get that commercial going.
That's right, folks.
Good.
If you're in the Daytona Beach area, please stop by the Guitar Attic, 1672 and a half Ridgeway Avenue, just north of Flomish in beautiful Holly Hill. If you're looking for a new guitar, used guitar, a vintage or collector piece, Guitar Attic is the place to go. GuitarAttic.com.
I don't know what we're
What are
doing.
you guys
I don't
doing?
I don't know. Adam started this, and I don't know. We just
I'll be interviewed. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Can we transition to something real quick? Because I need to get one thing. Adam over here is got my number, so he must be a fan of me. Number 12. That's right. He's a big fan of mine. So I thank you for the sponsorship of my number. And the one thing is, right in the middle of my screen, I have Hot Carl. And I have to know why Hot Carl. What did you do to that guy's mom or grandmother?
Hey, real quick. I want to say this real quick. Where we found out about this nickname was his teammate and apparently best friend for many, many years.
Decades.
Mom in the comments saying, "Go Hot Carl. Go Hot Carl." And when she said that, I about lost it. Because, I mean, obviously I get to read all the comments. Not a lot of people get to see them. I had to stop. I was like, wait.
Carl, what
we
did
just
you
got
do
a comment of Go Hot Carl.
Yeah, but it came from his grandmother. Not his mom. His grandmother said so. It's not
And this
even,
is Chris Oliver's
it's not
mom's the
even
one that
Cougar.
commented this. We got a little bit of the story from Chris. We want to know your side. Because
Yeah.
Chris said he's going to join later and we're going to get the true story.
I actually thought that it was Chris that told you guys, and I was like, that son of a bitch.
No, it was his mom that commented it.
Yeah, so I've been trying to get rid of that handle for a long time, a very long time.
Never.
And here we are. Yeah, so as we've mentioned before, I think in post-race interviews, Chris and I worked together at Circuit City for years. And that was we had already been friends for years at that point. But One day, I had just been there for a very short period of time, and another guy that worked in my department came over the PA system in the store and was like, hot Carl to imaging, hot Carl to imaging, and I walked over to him after. I'm like, do you have any idea what that means? And he said, and if anyone's watching doesn't know what it means, don't look it up. You don't need to know. Just in ignorance. It's better that way.
Thanks.
He
Wait, do you guys actually not know what it is?
No,
we
I'm looking
don't.
it up right now. Hold on. Let me tell you if it's
Urban Dictionary is the place to go.
So anyway,
Hey, it's not podcast appropriate. If you want to know what a hot Carl is, go ahead and look it up on Google and make sure you're in incognito mode. And we're not talking about it.
Nope. So I asked the guy. I said, "Do you know what this means?" He's like, "I have no idea what it means." He's like, "I was just picking." He's like, "Hi, you're Carl. You're hot." And I was like, and I told him. And the moment I told him, that's all they called me. That's all they ever. They would say it in front of customers. It did not matter. That was my name.
Oh my god! First off,
So Carl, would you like to be known as hot Carl, warm Carl, or cold Carl?
I know what all of those mean as well.
Which would you like to be known as?
It involves saran wrap or a glass table.
You look like a cold Carl, to be quite honest. You look like you'd like
So Carl, does it make it better or worse now that you know that it did not come from Josh? It came from Chris's mom.
So
cold Carl, everybody.
So yeah, there was actually at my wedding, Chris, who was my best man, Chris actually called me Hot Carl during his best man speech. And made a comment about the fact, if you don't know what that is, I'm like, just stop, cut it out, man. We're done here.
Well, with that, thank you for that. That's terrible. That is now your new nickname. That sucks.
I'm gonna call you Cold Carl.
It can't.
Carl
real quick,
Anderson on the inside.
real quick. I mean, that's bad. But so my boss, he's a sergeant first class. He was apparently in the Navy before he joined the Army. And so that's bad enough as it is. No offense to any of the seamen out there, but
You say seamen?
Yeah, seamen. That's what they are. They're seamen.
Seaman.
Carl knows about that, doesn't he?
Ross was a seaman.
But so anyway, hey, real quick. He was a seaman back in the day before he joined the Army, and his name is Coyote, and they started calling him KY, and he told me, he was like, yeah, I used to be called KY in the Navy, and I was like, man, I wouldn't admit that. That's a terrible life decision. You think about the Navy.
We knew a guy named Richard Seaman.
Hey,
so his nickname was Dick Seaman?
Yeah, it's funny
That's
because
great.
Okay, so this is a great story. So this guy is in church, right? And the pastor has got him wants to have him come up, and he says, Richard Seaman, let's talk to Richard Seaman. Come on up, sir. Come on up. Dick, come on. We want to talk to you, Dick.
Jesus. All right, with that being said,
We're making Blake wait for this.
We're getting back on track. Hey, we're getting back on track. All right. We've got the most controversial topics to talk now. We're hitting TNT. So we're bringing in our final guest for the evening. He is an admin for the AOL TNT series. He is a Truck Series champion, I do believe. He won the Truck Series championship. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, he did. And there was a lot of controversy around that, which
we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that.
No.
And then he was also I believe he won the Cup Series championship, and he's the resident alien of AOLL. So let's bring in, and actually, the funny thing, as soon as I said that, Justin Anderson first said, "Oh no, Blake, no," because Blake said, "Why did I just Google those?" And and then
whether it's good information or what a hot Carl is it's up to you. It's what you Google.
But once I said resident alien, I looked over. Justin Anderson said our resident alien. So let's welcome in our resident alien, Mr. Blake Gordon.
It's brought to you by hotcarl.com.
Oh, Jesus, don't. Hey, look, we can actually see him too. It's our first guest with a camera.
Just Googled those, so that was not pleasant. It's not a good idea.
You did.
Don't look at the images.
No,
There's
it
images.
wasn't
I
image
didn't look at
search,
those.
thankfully.
Let's move on.
Blake is right behind. He's lagging. His voice is not matching his face, so he needs to refresh his screen.
What?
Randy, that would be a you thing to leave and come back.
No.
Thank you very
How's it
much.
for
I
everyone
appreciate
else?
that.
No, I think Blake
yeah,
is
I've
good.
seen it too.
Now.
Fuck.
There you go.
You're fine.
All right, you're all right.
Well, there's our one of those for the night.
First off, hold on. Stop. Real quick. Blake, do me a favor. Next time you see your dad, first off, I got a lot of respect for your dad. He seems like a really great man. Smack the shit out of your dad. He literally
What for? What happened?
He just put in the comments. He said blue waffle, don't Google it.
Oh, God.
Please.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Gordon.
ladies and gentlemen, that is not brought to you by the people at hotcarl.com or endorsed by Ghostfire Media.
Not at all.
This is a rated X episode.
Dude, that one.
This is the one we just cut loose. This is the Ghostfire Media uncensored episode. Welcome.
That's streamed everywhere this time, and we're on Twitch, YouTube, and
Yeah, right. First time doing this.
Facebook
We're
right
going to
now.
be taken
We are
down
for
on
now.
Twitch already.
And your
Yeah,
dad's
for
blaming
now.
you, Blake. Your dad's blaming you. He said Blake is guilty. You told him to look at it many years ago.
Sounds about right.
That's just terrible.
All right, so let's talk about TNT. First off, Blake, resident admin. So give us a little bit about TNT. We got a little bit from Ed and Joe, but I mean, you were the first person, I believe,
okay,
to
Josh?
actually step up for the admin duties at TNT and kind of take that under your wing, man.
Yeah, so TNT is supposed to be like that beginner, like rookie division for AOLL. It's kind of where guys can come in, learn racecraft, car control, what we expect from them, as a member of the league. It somehow turned into like one of our most competitive divisions. I mean, there's like 5 or 6 dudes in there who can win every single week.
Unless this guy over here to the left of me gets in the front, then he just seems to leave everybody.
Yeah, he runs away with it.
Sorry, continue.
Not this week.
But no, last season I started off spotting for my dad in TNT, and I had seen some of the things that were going on in the race. The wrecks. We were using the Legends car at short tracks when we started off, so people were getting penalized, and it was like a kind of a hard time getting those cleared. So I was like, I'm free. I'm watching the races already. Like, if you need someone to do race control, I'll do it. And I think that's kind of helped the races at least run a little bit smoother, I guess, because it could be like some people's first taste of AOLL, right? So it really shouldn't be a disaster. So I think it's helped out. And lately, I mean, like the racing in there has been phenomenal. I mean, you guys saw it last night at USA. Like, that was some really good stuff.
Yeah, and
we definitely had some of the watching the replay. We had some of the best moments to where there were a few times that there were 5 people fighting for the same position at once.
Yeah, literally, I was
We were
watching like
3 wide, and it was clean. It
Yeah.
was great.
It was probably one of the better races I've seen TNT have. Anthony Cirillo, he finally got up there, like drove himself to the lead and led a few laps. We've all been saying it. You guys have all been saying it, rather. Picking him to win and whatnot. You knew he was going to be up front, and he finally did it the other night.
And it's when you go back and you actually watch that broadcast, I know me and Randy said it specifically. When you watch him battling for that lead spot, how much room those two gave each other, and that was to me was huge, because you don't get that, and you're not going to get that in the Truck Series. You're not going to get that in the Cup Series. Guys will side draft you a little bit, but you're going to be pretty close. You're kind of on edge. If you get a little squirrely, you might touch the other guy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I mean, like, I was really happy with what we saw last night. I mean, for the most part, 99% of it was fine. Like, it was all super clean. The rest of the admins, we all thought it was, everything that happened last night was great. It's nice to see that many people up there, genuinely contending for a win. It's funny, that's not supposed to be our most competitive series, but last season we promoted out all of our fast guys. Johnny Edward, Dan Witt, Billy Klingbill, and like the next group of guys up, they were Josh, Chris, Carl, like the whole closed circuit team, right? And then this year we've added guys like
Larry there.
I'm glad you caught that. I was like, all right, that's cool. I appreciate that.
The reason why I left Larry out is because, like, when we were talking about who was going to be promoted to Cup, something got lost there. Like, some of these guys, like, yeah, they got promoted to Cup, but, like, they could still run TNT, you know? There was only about 3 or 4 guys that they didn't need to be in TNT any longer. You know, that was Johnny and Dan. You know, they won the overall championships last season. Well, Dan won overall. Johnny won 2 season titles, and Dan won 1, right? So those guys, they're too fast. They don't need to be there.
Oh, wait.
Larry,
I could have been running?
Yeah, dude.
Nobody told me this. Hey, you're on your own on
Larry,
broadcast.
yeah,
I'm
okay.
going back TNT.
Larry, it wouldn't matter. You'd still crash yourself somehow anyway.
First off,
Believe it or not, I can actually run TNT because since I'm an old timer, I can run in any of the 3 leagues that I've run in. I think that's the rule.
We would love to have you in there, but we also would hate to miss you in the broadcast.
I'm not missed.
Well,
I'll be there.
We could replace Larry with me.
I'll see
and then
I'll
get
see you on Thursdays.
every Thursday night. I mean,
I
you don't
would
know.
also lose you wrecking people under caution.
I cannot.
Hey, no, wait.
I can't handle him 2 nights in a row. There's no
That
way.
was once. That was once. And
Apparently,
I don't
when you wreck
under
people under caution, you never hear the end of it.
I wrecked myself under caution. Hence the reason it wasn't in the video of the incidents because it was embarrassing enough.
No, it should have been in the
Larry-
video.
Hold on. I think you ranked me under caution one time last season.
No, okay. Well, there's a story behind that.
A whole different
Okay,
story there, guys.
So we'll tell that story really quick.
Holy,
Carl was racing me like a dick all night.
Oh,
God, how are you going to try to blame that man?
I might have been having a bad day, or it might have been him, but one of us was having a bad day. And I was like, all right, Carl, I'm going to get you under green flag. And then we were coming to the caution, and for some reason, the pace car was a lot closer than I thought he was. And everybody hit the brakes, and I just plowed through a car and was like, well, I guess that happened.
Oh, dear God. Hey, real quick, I just wanted to throw out there, Harvey said he doesn't know what's worse, Hot Carl or Randy going skinny dicking.
But by the way, Randy, I want you to know that I went back to the podcast last week and I isolated that little piece, and that is now one of my soundboards. So,
oh
thank
great. Hey,
Wait, are you saying skinny dicking's a little piece?
Not in my house.
My favorite one is from this past Tuesday. Randy said that I hit everything on the track except for the concession girl at the end of the infield. I was like, oh, damn, I just died laughing when he told me that. He said I hit everything on the track. I made contact with everything but the concession girl.
Yeah, sometimes, like, we're a PG broadcast with the IVRL, and sometimes Randy goes just like a little bit, and I'm like, oh, shit, here we go.
It's just a little bit.
It gives them just a little bit of the tip, just making it interesting.
Give a little bit of the tip of what I could actually do if I wanted to.
But Randy, for you, the tip is the whole thing.
Oh, it's not. Trust me. I got more fines in radio than anybody ever in my radio station. I got $250 fines all the freaking time.
So are you telling us that you're GFM's version of Howard Stern?
Exactly. That's the way of my radio.
So you're the king of all media?
I'll say
he has the stance right to where he's just right up here. He's got the professional microphone going.
Okay.
To where he goes right up
he's king of all media within Ghostfire Media. I'll give him that.
First off, while we're talking about Ghostfire, really quick before we get back on track, can someone please tell the origin story of Ghostfire Media?
Yeah.
Because I found this out this week and I almost died.
Yeah, so it was funny because when me and Adam went to start this, we were trying to think of a name. And because we started to be able to get some, a gig here, we, was pulling IVRL and then we did AOLL. And he was like, oh, we need a name. And I was like, I don't know, man. And me and Adam worked with each other in the military. And Adam, the first time I met Adam, all he talked about was Talladega Nights. Talladega Nights. So
why does that not surprise me?
First thing that came out of my mouth was Ghostfire. And now, mind you, it's invisible fire is what he yells running around the track. But I was like, we can't do invisible fire. Let's just call it Ghostfire. It's a ghost. And
help me, Oprah Winfrey, I'm on fire.
That's how we went with that. By the way, somebody other than me is gonna have to be able to see these comments because there's some inappropriate comments now hitting
Oh,
this
I'm
chat.
looking at it.
Johnny
When
Dowdy,
you see
hey,
me go off screen.
Or, did you see the one on YouTube though from Joe though?
Let me look.
No.
Apparently he
bring
knows
that one up now.
something very personal about Randy and
From
Joe?
oh yeah.
Joe, if you're still watching,
What the heck?
I would like you to comment on YouTube, not on Twitch because we'll get banned, on how you know that.
Well, no. First
Was
off,
that-
he's commenting on YouTube. He's not on Twitch.
I need more beer.
So I do see where the comments are coming from, which is kind of cool. But hey, we need to get back on track because we've almost spent 20 minutes. We've not talked
I was
anything
gonna
about
say,
TNT.
Are we doing something?
I
now?
have some back on track things.
So all right, let's hear it.
What the hell is
What-
going on here?
One of the things that anybody listening or watching is not going to realize that some of my best entertainment during the TNT races is when Blake gets a little frustrated with the league. My personal favorite last night was people don't hold the brakes. It's something that it's part of the AOLL guidelines. When you get into a wreck, you hold the brakes.
Yeah.
Anytime Blake gets on and says, "Hey guys, you need to do this," and then the next caution comes out and it's the exact same thing, it's some of my favorite moments from the race. It's not even the race itself. It's Blake's responses.
I feel like guys is doing it on purpose to get more out of me. That has to be.
I'm going to start doing it.
Well, I'm going to start doing radioactive for all 3 series that we cover here, starting like a couple weeks from now. So if people can just if people can just get Blake more riled up, that'd be great. Because I want to hear Race Control go off and be like, "Hey, listen."
I've already had a 3-month voice chat ban my early years of iRacing. I'm not trying to do it again.
I probably deserve one at this point. So
There's not going to be any actual names on there. We're going to put little they'll think that.
Nah, we gotta
But
keep
now
that out
he's
of it.
been on the podcast, everybody's going to recognize his voice.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. I tell you what, I want to point out first off. See,
We'll
I'm
get the voice
one of the
modulator.
smart ones. Well, I'm one of the smart ones. I don't talk over the voice chat. You'll very rarely hear me talk over the voice chat unless I have some smart comment to say to somebody, like I did Joe, I think on Wednesday night about Blake being faster with the admin pulls. You know that
was pretty funny.
that was.
Oh, man,
I was
he's
thinking
waiting
it.
for
I
it.
just wanted to say it.
I waited for it because it was perfect and I wanted that moment because I knew I could get Joe. I love Joe, but I had to get him. I knew it would get under his skin. But it was, I don't say anything, but Randy, the first race he joined our team and he came in, he realized what I actually feel and how I am during the race because I don't know who it was, but they were like, Larry is not saying a word. And then I came over with F this, F that. I hate this effing person. I'm going to F this person up. I'm going to F it. And Randy was like, what just happened?
I said, what the hell got into this boy?
If you've never been in a chat with Larry during a race, you have to at some point because it's the greatest thing ever. When he gets just a little bit bent out of shape, he's as bad as Kyle Busch.
In team chat, honestly, I've talked shit about every single person that is in AOLL on team chat, and a few of them on the actual race chat. I've genuinely, and hell, Chris could tell you, I talked all sorts of trash about Josh before he joined the team. Then he joined the team. He's like, "Oh, everything you do is great." But
We all do that.
Yeah, I
only one team was dumb enough last year to broadcast at every race, though.
Very true, and it doesn't happen anymore.
And that's why we stopped it. And it was funny because there were multiple guys within the team that were like, look, you've got to quit doing this because we don't hold our tongue. Like, we're at least nice enough to hold our tongue from coming over the radio. But when I'm in my personal time, this is me. If you're going to hear I have a hot mic all the time in team chat. So something upsets me.
You got to get that push to talk, man.
No, see,
we have it on all the time.
I got my little
hilarious.
flip.
Yeah,
To where I actually thought that Hot Carl was in reference to his temper.
I thought too.
I said he's cold, Carl. He's under the table. So,
I thought it just had something to do with a love affair between.
Chris's mom and the
Well, I heard something about a
thought.
grandma, and I was like, okay, like
You got to talk to Chris about that. He can probably fill you in. I'm sure he'd love to talk about that. But no, like I've legitimately like I've had problems on the race broadcast. Like I'll admit it. I'm very passionate about especially we all spend a ton of time doing this. Like especially like someone like I'm doing it 6 nights a week now, with practices, races, and calling the race and doing this.
Yeah.
There's a lot, and so I'm passionate about it, and I've legitimately considered like trying to find like some like have like some of the joystick like little flip up thing where you can hit the button, like just like a flip up thing for my push to talk on the race, because it's okay if I talk shit to my team. I've got to work better about pushing the talk on the race.
So I'm gonna tell you what, man, and here's a little piece of advice from me to you, man. Talk to Blake, talk to Joe, talk to some of these guys, Adam. If you've got a spare iPad or something lying around, bro, they will hook you up with the whole little push to talk off the iPad that operates like, and it's wild. Like you see these pictures, and I'm like, I thought I was a computer nerd. Like, you guys destroy me. Like I am.
I need that extra step to say like, are you sure you want to push the talk? Really? Are you really sure you want to do this? Is this a good idea? Like, even ideally, like I flip up that cap and then like a voice comes over my headphones. Are you sure you want to do this?
Right.
And
right.
Your teammates do that to you.
I know. I was getting a lot of warnings last night.
So Blake, now as far as the direction with the TNT series going at this point, obviously we've seen CCR. I didn't want to say closed circuit racing. I was call you guys CCR. They're your front runners, right? Like we could pretty much count on them at least taking 3 of the top 5 spots every week.
Yep, without a doubt. I mean, those guys every week, week in, week out. Doesn't matter where we are, road course, oval, they're going to be up there. They work their ass off to do it too.
So, are you guys doing any mid? Because obviously you guys are breaking it down to season. Are there going to be pushes up, or is it going to be offered up, or anything? Or is it going to be a true 3 series run and then?
Yeah, I think the goal is to just do it, for the whole year. No mid-season promotions or anything like that, unless like it was a very special case. Like if someone literally came in and was just wiping the floor with TNT, they need to be in there. If I was running TNT, I would promote me out of it mid-season because that just wouldn't be fair, right? So, no, the whole goal is to get everyone in there for the whole year because that's what I wanted to see this year. I wanted to see like the midfield guys from last season get the chance to run up front the whole year, especially now since we're going to the ARCA Chevy. It's going to be a completely different ballgame.
I'm so looking forward to that because one of the great things we were talking about this in our team chat earlier today. The legends are great. They're easy to drive, but difficult to master. And we're seeing that as the season has gone on to where me, Chris, and Carl, and we had a few other people. John was up there at the beginning of the season. But now we're seeing so many people progress even further to where they're hitting that point that they're mastering it.
Yep. And then now we're just going to change the car and reset the field.
And the difficult portion with the ARCA car is we're going from something that's maybe 120 horsepower to 400 on big tracks, or even we're going to be running Martinsville to where it's significantly more power, a bigger car on the same tracks, to where I'm wondering if the first season's going to be kind of what the first half of this season was
what last year was.
Yeah, like I'm expecting the first few weeks with the ARCA to be, a disaster while people, start figuring it out. But the hope is, season 3, after we've already done a full 12 weeks with it and we're about to do the next 12 weeks, that last season should be really good. Before this year started, we were talking about, are we going to run one car the entire year? Because I wanted to use the ARCA the whole year. But then we put up a poll. People wanted to do 3 cars, 3 seasons in the street stock. The damage model iRacing kind of screwed that one all up, so I didn't want to deal with that hassle in TNT, so we're skipping that and going right to the ARCA for the next 2 seasons, the rest of this TNT year.
Well, and I want to point out, and I think Joe, he just threw a comment, an actually non-perverted comment in the YouTube chat. So he said they need to learn more about power, and I agree with that. And I think that was, for me, was one thing that I liked about TNT last season. You know, you start on the turtle cars, and they were fun to drive. Like, they're a blast, you know, but they're real easy to. You can slam into the throttle. You don't really have to worry about the back end getting out from underneath you, and you can dig through the corners. What it teaches you is entry, exit, and how to run a track.
Well, the thing is, too, like, you know, the Legends car, it's so small that it's really only confined to, you know, mostly short tracks. I think Bristol is about the biggest track you can go to. But in Sportsman and Cup, we're running the full 1.5 mile track, the super speedways. So, you know, this next season in TNT, we've got Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta, Charlotte. We've got a full range of tracks that we use in the other series that we haven't been able to do in TNT before. So I think this next season is going to be a blast. It should be really fun to see who, you know, rises to the top. Josh, he'll probably be him, but, you know, I guess we'll find out.
I got hot
if
Carl.
Last night's any indication, we've got. I've been looking forward to Anthony getting to the point that he's at.
Yeah, me too.
Because in all honesty, and we've talked about this multiple times, he is actually fantastic. He's been able to throw down that hot lap in practice, but now we actually got to see him pull it together for a full race, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I think Joe Dinsmore probably gets a lot of credit for Anthony being where he is right now, because apparently when he first started out, he was basically racing on the equivalent of like a PowerPoint presentation. He was getting like 20 or 30 frames because he had like a setting wrong on his computer. So Joe helped him out, fixed that, and now, you know, all those issues we had with him starting out, I think it was just because he couldn't keep up with what was going on around him, and that was just like a actual computer limitation. Now that's gone. We're starting to see what I think he's already always been capable of, and that's pretty awesome to see him up front now.
He was really
and he's just gotten better.
Yeah,
no, he absolutely was. I mean, he was on the brink of like almost actually getting kicked out of the league if he didn't clean it up. But, you know, Joe took the time, figured out, you know, what was going wrong, and then from that point forward, it's been a steady uphill climb for him.
Yeah, and I want to say one thing, man. You've seen it from multiple guys, and you know, from last season, you know, Manzo, and if they're listening, don't take offense to it, but Manzo and Skrillo, however you say his last name. When I got around them, your butthole gets about like this, and you get a little nervous because you don't really know what they're going to do. And then, but this season, being able to sit back, being able to watch, me and Randy said it multiple times. The moment he quits over driving the track, because it's what he did every week, you could see it. Somebody gets around him, and he's like, I got to go. I need that position back.
Not only just that, but like his just luck in general. Like as soon as that turned around, he was going to be fine.
And we're seeing it.
He's no longer one of the 4 or 5 guys I feel like I constantly have to watch every week. Now I can go back to watching Josh and Carl. And
we'll get to that one.
I think most people know just the 4 or 5 guys in TNT, but that's fine. Like that's the series where they're supposed to be learning. So there's going to be hiccups. There's going to be issues. Like we all know that.
And they're going to improve like Anthony did. I mean, they're going to get there. I mean, we saw who was it on Facebook earlier? I think was it Gene that posted about
his first time not being in the video.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to keep getting better. Yeah, they're going to keep getting better.
You know, and you want to know who I think has done an awesome job as of late, and is Mikey Keller, man. Like, watching his. You know, from where he was just, you know, kind of cruising around the track, and even if you were the lead car, when you're coming around him, even if he goes high, you're like, dude, just please don't cut down.
You guys remember Dylan Johnson?
Yeah, and he shot down. He wrecked
him really well.
The last race I think he ran, Mikey Keller literally sat on pit road the entire race, came out for one lap and wrecked him.
And came down.
But now, like, it's just the oddball solo spin now. Like, that's really the worst that it gets with him. I mean, you know, all these guys have been improving.
And he's gotten faster. He's gotten faster, and he's one of them guys. I'm not going to say he's going to do it this year, and I'm not saying he's going to do it next year. I think next year you start seeing him become a mid-pack guy. And then I think if you give him another year, he's got a chance of being up front. It's just he's gradually progressed. When you see that progression, where does it stop for him? And he's there.
TNT as a whole has been progressed. I mean, whenever I started solo calling it and Randy joined in me, I mean, me and Randy were just trying to find stuff to feel the talk during all the mini cautions that were happening. And that's when Blake decided, hey, I want to make a video for incidents like 3/4 of the way through last year, and started making those. And that kind of helped people keep people on their toes. I think that it helped show exactly what people were doing wrong, for one, but two, it's like, I don't want to be in that video anymore.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be a form of public shaming, but at the same time, it kind of was.
First
like,
off,
if you keep showing up in this thing, you want to not be in it, right?
First off,
they were 45 minutes long. Well, the race was only an hour, and you had 45 minutes worth of wrecks.
I want to point out, first off, that's because Blake would constantly, on good ones, he would repeat the wreck, show it from different angles, and it always made me laugh. But hold on, it cracked me up, and Blake, I have to say this. Mikey's comments every week.
I love him.
You can ask Adam. You can ask Adam every time. I would literally refresh that post until Mikey would comment, and then I would screenshot it and I'd send it to the chat and be like, "Mikey's at his ass again." Yeah, I love that guy. He cracks me up all the freaking time.
Yep.
Oh man.
Blake, Randy Pepper, Ghostfire Media.
Whoa, that was obnoxious. I'm about to turn down your mic, buddy.
Let me ask you something about last night. So I know this is going to get in Carl, but I have to ask the question because Carl wasn't happy about what happened last night with Leland. But you guys researched it or reviewed it and went through it, and you guys found no problem with the incident at all. But Carl kind of felt like he got run dirty. Myself, I watched the video a couple times. He did bump him and everything, but he didn't wreck him. Right. Maybe that's just because Carl's such a good driver, he could hold on to it, but he didn't wreck him. So, is that how you guys looked at it?
So Joe was in the session, and we both took a look at it, in real time. For the most part, you can tell when someone tries to get into a corner, with the intent to move someone. So, but last night in the race when we looked at it, it didn't seem like that was Cody's intent. Just even watching him the last several weeks, he'll make aggressive moves, but he's always trying to be clean about it. And in that one, I just felt like, I told Carl, we talked about it, but it looked to me like Carl had missed the bottom a little bit and was starting to kind of slide up the track. So I think what Cody saw was him wash up, right? So I think he just came off the brakes a little and tried to roll forward underneath him. At that point, Carl, I guess, maybe cut the wheel back and didn't slide up as far. And it was very light contact. Even the difference in speed, it was 2 miles an hour, but you're right. He didn't wreck him. And even Johnny, we all took a look at it and we all were we don't really see anything malicious there. But at the same time, we don't want that to start being the norm. Because we do have that rule, if you cause a wreck that ends up winning you the race, we can strip that win away and do, I forget what the other parts of that is, but that's basically going to go to all the admins. Anytime that happens, we're all going to look at it, and agree on it.
That has been real quick. That has been a discussion this season of that almost happening of one incident. Just to point that out.
Yeah,
Carl, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I agree with the decision not to penalize or anything. I think in general, if there's not a caution that comes out, I don't. In the moment, I might have, been a little bit more advocating for a penalty, but I don't think a penalty should be in place for that. My frustration with last night is the kind of insistence from Cody that there was no contact, because there was contact. It was 2 corners in a row. So I think in that
he got your bumper off of 4, just trying to stay tight on you, right?
Yeah, I think in that situation, there's one of 2 things you do. You apologize, say, "Hey, I didn't mean to do that, man." And look, I had a rough night Wednesday night as well.
Yeah.
I got in, I think,
that's
6 separate accidents. 2 of them
wreck.
were 2 of my. Huh?
That netcode wreck was brutal to watch. I think that's the one you ended up quitting on. I was like, dude, there's a whole foot between your trucks.
That was a rough night for the man.
It was rough, but at the same time, every single person I got involved with that either apologized or they did something along the lines of hey, I don't think I caused that, but I'm going to check on the replay. And, I think in that situation, you either apologize or you say, "Hey, man, you were slower than me, and I bumped you and got moved the other way.
So Joe just threw out there. He said he might not have felt it looking where he hit you, and then he also said unless it gave him an X, which,
that's what I was gonna say. Is just having been in his situation before plenty of times, where like you don't get a contact point. It doesn't look like you actually hit the guy. And you don't know if it was netcode or not. Like it's easy to sit there and be like, I didn't touch you because nothing adds up to I actually touched you. There was no contact point. So, I didn't even say that I hit you. So.
No, I guess from my point of view is if I'm behind someone and look, listen, I mean, Cody and I had issues 2 weeks ago, and I apologize for that because after watching the replay, I came down into it and. That wasn't intentional either. It wasn't like I was like sitting there like I'm going to drive down into this asshole. I was trying to keep him, held down at the bottom. And it was just like last night. Like at one point he said that it didn't matter if I bumped you there or not. I was going to pass you on the inside. After that, he was not. I had practiced holding that low line. He was either going to have to go around on the outside or he was going to bump me another way. One of the two things was going to happen. I came into that corner a little bit higher because I was trying to carry more speed into the corner because he bumped me in the previous corner. It sucks. I mean, I think there's been a few situations where there have been, and I'm not trying to call it Cody. Like I think for the most part, Cody and I have raced well together. I have a problem with him, but I think there have been a few situations where last season, I constantly kind of blamed every accident on everyone else. It was everyone else's fault. And I had a 0.1 incident per lap rating. And now I'm at like 0.04. I've worked my ass off to try to, I ran behind Tim St. Jean for a shit ton of laps last night when I had fresher tires. And I wasn't going to bump him because I knew he wasn't going to bump me. And I don't know. I think you kind of start to learn how people drive, and I don't know. Last night sucked. I feel like I'm not having many opportunities to kind of be the best car on the track because once I almost every TNT race is going to be Josh, and once I get moved out of TNT, it's going to be Blake. So or Justin. So yeah.
Larry, no. If you moved out of TNT, we aren't worried about you.
No,
wow.
Larry wasn't the best car on the track in TNT ever, so I'm not concerned about Larry.
I at least gave you partial credit.
Well, hey, guess what, Carl? Hot Carl. I just found out I can run TNT again, so guess who's coming back next season, baby?
I am looking forward to
it. I see you.
I do just want to say, like, it personally, short track racing, you're going to see stuff like that, right? Like
John, that hurts.
Go to any local short track, you're going to have, guys banging fenders and whatnot. What we don't want to see and have, like, become acceptable in TNT is, like, just moving guys out of the way. So that's where, like, we're kind of, like, trying to, like, tiptoe a very fine line between, like, I don't want to come out and flat out say, yeah, you can move a guy out of the way because we're going to have to take a look at it because I made sure to talk with, Johnny and make sure, hey, a bump and run. If you guys remember Carl Edwards at Richmond moving Kyle Busch out of the way.
Teammate, I loved it.
Yeah, like if that happens in the league, are we taking that win away? Because that isn't a wreck, but he still moved them. So we had to like come up with something, and we didn't feel like Cody drove in there. He still lifted at a normal time and everything. Win we definitely chalked up just to.
I think he had. Because he had fresher tires.
Let's let Carl. Carl, what you got?
I was just gonna say, yeah, he had fresher tires. I didn't pit the tires because I had seen what had happened on the previous time I pitted and trying to get around the lap tires, and I wasn't going to bump them to get around them. I wasn't going to do it. And I mean, Josh can tell you. I mean, I think I may have even said some things I saw with people. Like, you start. I was basically saying that I'm going to start driving people like that as well. And after I've thought about it tonight. I'm not going to do that. I mean, if I get bumped out of the way every single race, that's fine. I'm not going to do that. I will do everything. I mean, and again, I'm not blaming. Like, if it was an accident, like, I would appreciate an apology for it. But that's cool. It's cool. I mean,
so
but I'm not gonna start trying to move people out of the way. And I'm gonna do everything I can to not do it myself.
I want to hit a couple points real quick because I'm going to come to you, Josh. I know you've had a lot to say, so just give me 1 second because I want to hit the comments. First off, John, your dad has been a spitfire in the damn comments tonight.
Yes, he has.
Larry who? I appreciate that, John. Thanks, man. And then he said, "Oh, Larry, I thought you were talking about the Three Stooges. If you talk to my wife, she'd probably tell you I'm a stooge." Anthony said, "Thanks for talking about me, guys." And that right there shows you, first off, for the GFM guys, that these guys do watch this stuff, and it's appreciated, and they do like to, they get a lot of feedback, in my opinion.
They might not watch live, but I bet you everyone watches it at least once throughout the week.
Exactly, and they get a lot, and like I said, I think they get a lot of feedback. I mean, if you're going to talk to somebody like they're a dog, they're probably going to be an a-hole back, and if you give them some encouragement, man, honestly, it goes a long way. Yeah, Josh, I know you had a lot to say, man. So let me bring it to you.
It especially with what happened this week, it harkens back to South Boston with Cody. So if we really want to look back at it, we have him with 2 wins, and both of them have this kind of asterisk with similar moves that ultimately led to the win this week with Carl. And we go back to South Boston with me, to where coming into a turn, there was obviously contact and there was me being pushed out of the way and ultimately coming in second. To where that's the biggest thing that worries me is we officially have, in the AOL TNT, we have one person that has essentially done this twice, walked away with a win, and now we have almost a precedent set for it's okay as long as you don't spin them.
Yeah, that's obviously, it's hard for me to I gotta be careful. Obviously wearing the admin hat here, but
yeah,
I feel you on that. That's why I changed some.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't remember the end of the South Boston thing. I'd have to go back and look at what happened. I went back and looked at all the incident videos to see what all Cody was actually officially involved in that turned into yellow flags. So that wasn't in there. So I'm actually trying to go back and find the broadcast for it, so go watch the end. But
I was gonna say that's actually you sent me messages in Facebook. I actually ended up with texts from Johnny Downey about that one, and I was one of those. I'm one of those people that it's racing in all reality. Mm-hmm. And you kind of got to take those things because we're all going to make those kinds of moves, especially in the last few laps. It's just how we're going to do it. But in all reality, where we're at now, because even if you look at last night, he did it to me earlier in the race, even to where he got into the back of me, almost spun me. He actually ended up apologizing for that, but I'll admit there was a little bit of cursing at that point because, again, it took me straight back to that point. And as I'm looking at the comments, yeah, Justin's mistakes do happen. They do.
Yeah.
And especially in those cars, it's really difficult to judge where the front end is.
But
I'll be the first to admit that.
Mistakes happen. I've done it before. One of the cornerstones of this league, though, is apologizing for when you make one. And look, it's taken me to come to Facebook afterwards and apologize for it because in the moment, hell, when I wrecked Cody a couple weeks ago, in the moment I was like, bullshit. Even in the post race talking to Blake and Ed, I was like, that wasn't me. That was on him. And it was when I really got away and I looked at it, I was like, well, shit, that was on me. That was on me, and I apologize for it. And I think, as long as we're, honest and apologizing when we're making mistakes.
And one thing that people will say is, especially in this league, just an apology goes a long way. And honestly, that's why I really don't harbor any hard feelings about anyone, and why, if we go back to Oxford Plains and that absolutely moronic move I made against Sean, I made sure after I watched the replay, I even pulled him into
a chat in Discord and was just like, dude, I'm so sorry. In the heat of the moment, I noticed it, but I feel like that's kind of the thing that it's why I love the AOLL, and I'll be honest, and it's not just Cody, but there's quite a few people that they hit you.
So
there's
look,
no apology.
So look,
And
man,
I want to add, I'm not trying to like, crap on Cody or anything. Like, I mean, poor wording with my name. I've raced tons of laps with him. I mean, 99% of the time, he is awesome to race with. And even like last night, it was really not that big of a deal. I mean, I was frustrated as hell. I think I was more frustrated about the fact that it, like, just own up to it.
So check this out, man. I'm gonna and this is kind of what we were talking about in the chat earlier. All right, and Adam's going to can tell you more than anybody how many times, especially last season, that I went in, I said, F this, I'm done, F that, I'm done with this effing league, I don't want to do it no more, I'll go run some officials. Like, it gets frustrating. I'll tell you that I've had almost a moment this season, and you're always going to have it. No matter what you're running, you're always going to have it. I mean, case in point, well, somebody turns directly right into you, hits you, and they're a lap down and put you into the wall after a caution, and yet you don't say anything. Now, I tell you, the same individual never says anything about anything. So I could throw case in point that there was a wreck the other night, and they didn't say nothing, and it gets thrown out there. I'm not going to dish out who caused it. And then when it said, oh, I went back and looked, and it was my fault, I looked at it and I was like, how did you not know that was your fault?
I'm sorry, but
it's way too easy to say that.
The end of that was absolutely hilarious, that he kept alluding to somebody needed to apologize. Radio silence.
I'm not going to throw his name out there, but somebody did something wrong.
See, that's what I'm going to get at. It's going to constantly happen. And you're going to have the guys that will say, hey, look, I'm sorry. I know I did something wrong. Hey, I'm sorry. I don't know if it was on me, but I'll apologize to you for it. And then you're going to have the people that's not going to say nothing. And then you're going to have the people that'll say, hey, I'll review it, and then we'll talk afterwards. You're always going to have those different types of people. The fact is how much do you want to take into that? You know what I'm saying? For me, that's why I don't. If I get into a wreck, I'll apologize to you. If I wreck you, that's my bad. But if somebody don't apologize to me, man, I just keep my mouth shut, and my team hears it the entire time, and then they probably hear that I'm going to quit like 20 different times after that. And I probably
calm them down on off the cliff, man. Pull them back.
Dude, I can't tell you how many times. Like, racing's fun, and it's a good time. It's a blast. But if I'm going to get this upset, I might as well make some money doing it, and I'm not making money doing it in this league. You know what I mean? So at that point, hey, my joy is the group here and doing this stuff. But that's what we were talking about earlier, man. Like, trust me, I understand your pain. I feel your pain. If anybody's going to know that I felt your pain, it's going to be Adam, because he hears it all the time. We've been friends for God knows how many years now. And he hears it all the time, because I don't talk to half the guys in the chat except for maybe Rick, outside of Adam, of this is how I feel about this. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I mean, obviously our league has its moments, right? But you can go back to an official race and you can see there's no respect, there's no standards. Guys will dump your ass without even thinking twice about it. They won't say shit about it. They won't apologize. So, like,
and they'll blame you for them dumping you.
Right. So, at least the league, probably 95, 98% of the guys, like, they'll race you hard, they'll race you clean, they'll say sorry, and they at least care, because why are you going to race the guys you race with every week like a dick, I mean, it's going to come around at some point. I still have a list of guys that did shit to me last year, and it kind of affects how I drive them this year,
Oh, don't worry, I got a list of guys that make comments
that you could bring up. And
no, it's all up there. It's a pretty short list, but
I ain't even gonna lie. That after you try to defend the incident that the guy turned right, you can ask Randy. I was sitting there. I was like, Blake's coming around me. I'm gonna wreck him. The thing I forgot, he's laughing. I'm going to wreck him. And then I didn't, and I was like, I'm cool. I'm cool, and I just kept driving granny style.
I forgot to hit this when we talked about it, the other week. Is the point I was trying to make was you guys both made a mistake, right? Like, you didn't mean to wreck him earlier. He didn't obviously mean to wreck you there. It was wheel spin, right? That was the only point. You know, like, it's not the first time someone hasn't apologized. But, yeah, I know we're talking about, like, the chronic, I don't apologize for anything guy, you know? So, I know.
It wasn't even the fact that it was like chronic, I apologize for anything. There's a difference between sliding up and there's a difference between turning completely right. You know, there's a no right hand turn there. The tracks are only left. You don't turn right. That just, to me, that was asinine. And you don't do it a lap down.
Yeah, you know what it was, though. He just spun the tires. It happens. You know, he's not the first guy to do it. He won't be the last.
And I'm going to complain the exact same amount.
I would too, though. I got wrecked like that, yeah.
And guess what? Randy now has to hear it, and old Steve over here has to hear it. Steve Goschalk, if you're still watching, that's for you, buddy.
Yeah, I'll hear it every time. It's, you know, eventually you'll start hearing it from me. No, actually, I'm Mr. Calm. You know me.
Randy slowly becoming
You're
my best friend.
Gentleman in this league.
I'm what?
You're the biggest gentleman in this league.
No, no.
At least over the voice chat on iRacing.
Oh yeah. If I wreck you, I will definitely tell you. I'm sorry. I did not mean to do that. I suck. I ran out of talent. Whatever.
I'm pretty sure you've apologized to me for me wrecking you before. So I mean,
yeah, I did. Yeah.
Hey, Joe just said that Steve's he's so old that he probably fell asleep already. I hope Steve's still watching. I hope he's seen that comment. Hey,
I thought he was a night owl. I thought everybody told me he was a night owl.
So real quick, I don't know. So real quick,
back in the day when he was your age.
So let's we dwelled a lot on TNT tonight, which is awesome.
It was the most interesting of the week because otherwise we talked about Sportsman Carl wrecked like 6 times.
Well, that's facts. We got a lot to talk about still. That's the sad
we got a
part.
half hour left, so
and a lot to talk about. So, first off, last race, Josh, I think you pretty much got it wrapped up. Tough battle here. I seen the points. I'm sure you guys have. Carl unfortunately lost second now to Chris, which said that he was going to join at some point tonight. So, Chris, if you're watching,
now's a good time.
Yeah, you suck.
I don't know who I'm gonna try to protect next week. This week it was Carl. He threw that away.
So we pretty much had a good outlook going into next season. Obviously, looking forward to the last race on this week, and so let's make that switch to the Sportsman. Let's hit the Sportsman for a hot second. We're not going to talk about Carl because, well, he rage quit. It was a bad week for the poor man.
He threatened to rage quit first, and then he
rage quit. Right. What I want to talk about is Blake. I mean, obviously, we all know the controversial incident into last season. You got the 2 race penalty this season. Both series at that, but I want to point out, I don't want to talk about the incident. I want to talk about the fact that how quickly you have made up them points and you're already fighting for first place in the points. And if I may be wrong, you may have it right now.
No, I don't think I have it right now. To be honest, the only reason it's possible is the provisional points. We talked about it, last season. He said it's going to be 2 races, no provisionals, and then he just gave them to me anyway. So that kind of helped out. So. That's really the only reason.
Damn, Johnny. Why?
Joe just said that too. He said, "Well, he did get points," and then he put a sad, crying face.
Yeah. Well, now it's angry face.
Angry face. I think Sportsman. It'd probably be even closer if I didn't throw away like at least 2 of the races and just gifted them to Justin. Myrtle Beach, that one stung. Learned my lessons though from that race. Did not pit again this week at Nashville, and just held the lead. That would have been pretty sour, pitting again and giving it away like that, because you could not pass at that track at all.
Yeah, we are actually in our team chat, since we now have Josh Hanner in closed circuit.
That dude is fast. That's a good pickup for y'all.
All we heard was, this guy is not pitting. What am I going to do? And I was just like, deal with it?
Yeah, Josh Hanner is actually a Circuit City alum as well. I haven't talked to the guy in like 10 years, and he joined their team. So,
Say, did you guys just put on Facebook on the iRacing channels, be like, hey, does anybody ever work for Circuit City in the past 20 years I play iRacing? So would you want to come to my team?
Yeah, no,
we sell a 19-inch TV.
Yeah, me, him, and Chris actually worked at the same store, and I've been friends with him on Facebook forever, and we started talking about iRacing like a year ago, and I finally convinced him to join the league.
So, all right, so check us out. So I pulled up the points real quick. You're correct. You've actually, after this week, you're up to 4th, and you're shown at 273. So you're just behind Joe. Which just threw out a nice little comment. We'll read that here in a minute. You're just behind him by 1 point, and at 273 with Justin Anderson leading at 299.
Well, I'll be honest. I mean, we have 30 races until our playoffs start, and it's a round of 18. So, I mean, I felt like all you got to do is get to the round of 18, right? So, as far as how high I can get before that, it's just, cherry on top. But, this playoff format, I mean, what you do up until, each round and eventually, the last race, doesn't fucking matter. So, I feel like I'm going to be in at this point. So we'll see how high I can get, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And first off, I'm glad you see. I don't get all this information. I've literally been kind of BSing the sportsman. Obviously, with doing all this, the wife gets complaining. She's pregnant, so she doesn't. So I haven't been racing.
What you say right there.
Well, she's going to work here in about 30 minutes too. So, but so I haven't really been racing this one, but now I have to race, man. I'm at 22nd, moved up a spot. I think I could pass my teammate.
You're basically like me
You're
here.
only 4 points behind me, and you've missed races. So
that's because I'm a better racer than you, dude. Literally been trying to tell you guys
go to
this.
the last season of the TNT.
Okay, first off, you want to bring that up. You should have been able to hold that line when I went underneath you.
I still finished in 3rd. Where were you?
Well, I still feel terrible that I took out Mr. John Gordon that day.
You know what? Everybody feels bad when they take out John because he's a legend.
That's Mr. Flipper, okay? That's.
I gave him that name, Flipper, and
I will not.
Wait, hold up. I gotta know. What did you just do, Blake?
My little light just died.
I was like, he just completely changed the lighting or something.
Yeah.
Was you not happy with
it? He got a
it?
suntan really quick. He went from light
to there he's gone again. He's going to change it again on us. So I mean,
just put her.
I know he can hear me. Good. So you made up a ton of freaking points, man. It's insane, and like you said, it's a long season, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
Sportsman's my favorite division anyway in AOLL. I mean, the truck is so much fun to drive. We go to all sorts of different tracks, whether it be, the short tracks we can't go to in Cup. Myrtle Beach, Five Flags, Smyrna, stuff like that. We can't go there in Cup. There's no setups for it.
What I have to tell you something about, Blake. You are the only driver that has ever been featured on my Guitar Addict page. Because really? You won at New Smyrna Speedway.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
I gave the shout out to you because you won New Smyrna Speedway, and that's my home track.
Hey,
so
Randy, I want a sponsorship from Guitar Addict at some point. I thought we were friends. First off,
what, you want a sponsorship on your car?
Yeah, I want a sponsorship.
Everybody has a sponsorship. All they have to do is put it on the car, and it doesn't mean you'll get a free pick. Is what you get.
Oh well, dang!
So,
I was. Can I at least get on the website?
Huh?
Can I at least get on the website?
You get a shout out. Yeah, I give all the guys shout outs. Tim St. Jean's been shouted out quite a few times on the website. As far as the same thing with even John Gordon's got shout outs as well. So, and Dan's had quite a few. Actually, Dan got one last week.
So John, your dad actually, he just said that. He said, "Wait, I got wrecked by Larry." I don't remember it. I feel like he's being facetious about that.
We've all been wrecked by
that was when I had that massive run, and I think it was me and Rick. And I had Rick. I told him, I said, "Look, they're running that low line. I can get up underneath them, and it's going to cause them to push up. I was like, but you're going to have to go with me. I have the run. And he was like, all right, man, I'll go with you. And as soon as I came out of that corner, I was like, all right, I'm going. He goes, I ain't got the run. I was like,
we want to talk about that Thanksgiving Day race where you went up the track in front of me 4 lanes and made me flip 17 times.
Oh, don't worry. Next time we race with each other, I'm going to do that again. But
Randy, if that's the case on the free sponsorships, Joe Dinsmore, if you're still listening, go ahead and throw Guitar Addict in the new Ghostfire Media Motorsports car.
Absolutely. There you go. I have to say something because I kind of feel sorry for Larry because everybody has kind of attacked Larry this whole thing. Remember the time you wrecked me when we were riding through the parking lot of Walmart? You came down with your shopping cart.
He's an easy target. He does a lot.
He said it last week. It's all out of respect. I was just jealous of the fact that he was always in front of me.
It's a lot of love, man. I mean, you know, your biggest haters are your biggest admirers, man. I got it. I'm cool with it. I look better than them. I race better than them. I mean, it's just now they're gonna have to see me in TNT again. Bye, Cup. By the way, hey Blake, you ain't gonna have to worry about seeing me no more. Not that you did. I mean, outside of passing lapping.
He did.
He did.
Outside of lapping me.
Well, that's how I knew I wasn't on his list. Like Blake's list, I can't be on it because I'm not around him. I think I've only been around like maybe 3 or 4 races of the last 2 seasons that we've been around.
First off,
if I had to guess 2 people on that list, one's probably Justin, and one is probably Joseph Causey.
Well, that's new.
Well, that's different league.
That's new. That's new.
He's talking about last season. He said last season.
Okay.
Okay.
We're
so
talking.
Justin Anderson's on there.
Justin Anderson, you got to do 3. We're going Joe Dinsmore, and then you have to go Steve.
No, man. Like those guys, I love racing those dudes.
Well,
Justin, like he said in the comments, we race each other hard, but we keep it clean. Like I think only might have touched fenders once or twice, and I think one of those was last year when I like kind of pinched him on the apron. And he sent me a PM saying, "Do that again, I'm gonna wreck you." That was pretty funny. And then, but no, I mean, it's.
I don't think
we lost you, Blake. We lost you.
I don't
Blake.
think we lost Blake. Podcast.
He muted himself.
Yeah, I was going to say we can't hear you, buddy.
Look at his face.
Yeah, we got you. We got you.
Damn, so what'd you guys not hear?
Oh, pretty much all of it.
We also just got from Joe. We also just got I love racing Blake.
No, all right. So tell me if I cut out again, but no, Justin. No, we race each other hard, but it's always been clean. Like I said, I think we've only touched fenders like once or twice. One of them was like Kansas or something last year. I kind of like pinched him down the apron on the front stretch, and he came up into me, and then he sent me a PM saying, "Do that again, I'm gonna wreck you." So that was pretty funny. And then, Steve, no, I mean, Steve and Joe, I mean, those guys, same thing. I love racing these guys. I love hard battles on the track. Like that, to me, is what racing is all about. But if you about wreck me at Pocono and then laugh about it and then throw a hissy fit when I pay the favor back in the same race, you're on the list.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I got to know who did that.
So Justin wanted me to point out that it was Kentucky.
Yeah, one of those fucking better tracks.
It was a K track.
It was Kentucky.
I want to know who did this. I want to know about the Pocono thing.
I won't name names.
We got to talk later then. I want to know.
You just name card numbers.
I want to say about the most I see of Blake is when I'm driving around a corner and then I'm like going down into a corner and I just happen to look up and I see this freaking car coming behind me like a freight train. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should get out of its way. And then I move up the track, and then Blake comes screaming behind me, and I'm like, oh, that was a 48. Was that Jimmy Johnson? Oh, wait, no, Blake drives
I'm
that
pretty
car.
guilty of not really being patient when I'm on fresh tires in the fields on old tires, because you just can't waste time, you know?
Nah.
With the way the pit strategies fall out, you have to get around people so you have more time to go after them. You know?
Well, and it's one of them things, and I pointed out, I think it was last week, I was struggling at that track. Was it Atlanta, 1.5 miles?
Yeah, I think so.
I was struggling at that track, and I fell back, and it was like a one-groove track. It was hard to pass that. And I fell back to like 19th, and I was like, you know what? Just let me pit early. Hope to God I don't run out of freaking fuel. And let's rock it. And I did, and when I did, and if you re-listen to the broadcast, I don't know if it was Josh or Carl, but one of them was like, Larry just came out of the pits. He's running a second faster than the leaders. And it's like, that was what fresh tires did for you. But I gave up that I knew at the end of the run, I'm going to be slower than everybody else. But for right now, let me get that extra speed. Hope the fuel lasts. And sure enough, I mean, Blake, I already knew he was coming. My relative, I watched the crap out of it. And I was like, all right, here he comes, man. It's like, I knew at 4 seconds, I was like, he's catching me in like a half a lap. Like, I'm just going to squeak up here. And I was like, go low. And he went underneath me and was gone.
I think I pissed Dan Witt off a couple weeks ago in the Cup Series or Truck Series. I passed him on fresh tires, and he was in the lead at that point. But like I flew by him, and he did not appreciate it too much because I think there might have been contact, and he had to like bail. But the truth is, I was going to clear him before it was ever a factor. And like I said, I'm not going to waste time. Like if I'm on fresh tires, you're on old tires. If it was me, I'm going to stay well out of your way.
And I think at a certain point, we gripe, bitch, and complain a lot that watch your relative. I mean, we have a relative.
Yep. And mirrors. I mean, not to fucking mention, everyone's got a mirror.
We have a mirror. Keep an eye on it. Check your points of contact, entry, everything like that. My thing is, I won't check my mirror until I check my relative. If I know somebody's close, then I'll start checking my relative or my mirror.
Yeah, but at Atlanta, whenever you burn your tires up, it's they'll come faster than what you're looking at the relative.
That's 3 seconds.
What relative are you looking for?
Yeah, it's
what?
What relative are you looking for? Your mom, your sister, your brother?
There you go. Yep.
There it is. So let's talk a little bit about the Cup. I mean, we kind of are already talking about the Cup Series, but
mad.
This one, I mean, the Truck Series is fun. Kind of blends in the two TNT as well as the Cup Series. But now we're talking Cup. Cup it's still a gentleman's league. I'm going to throw the quotes out there because it's more competitive at that point. You're going to get more of a case of the ass, but at the exact same time. And let me give a quick shout out to my man, Randy Pepper. What'd you qualify?
He's like, what did I do?
No,
in sportsman, I think was it sportsman?
No, I said Cup.
Where
was it? Was it?
No, it was sportsman.
Oh, it was sportsman. All right, give it to me. What'd you qualify?
5th or 6th.
And then what were you running at some point?
Nashville.
Yeah, it was in Nashville.
5th?
5th or 6th. I don't know. Something
he qualified
like that.
5th.
And then you got up to what, 3rd or 4th?
I got up at 3rd, and then I dropped back, and then I
took Carl out.
6th. No. I got loose because I was trying not to hit Adam, and I came down, hit Adam, is who I hit.
Yeah, you started getting tight in the corners and going up, and I didn't want to lose my run, so I finally, after the 3rd time laying off, because we had our other teammate Ross coming up, and I was like, all right, well, I got to start moving a little bit. So I came I came underneath you in the middle of 3 and 4, and then you just got loose coming off of 4. And if I wasn't there, you would have been able to correct it easily. But I was there, and it just tapped, and then we collected a whole bunch of people.
And did Randy run out of talent again?
No, I wouldn't say that was running out of talent. That was just just got a little tad loose coming off of 4. It can be a little slick.
I will tell you this. Me and Joe Dinsmore have worked a lot this week on trying to figure out what is wrong with my system. And that same thing that Anthony Scarillo found out, there was some system running wrong. Joe found a lot of stuff that was not running right in my system. So hopefully this will help me run better.
Well, I don't think Joe gets anywhere near as much credit for that.
No,
he's helped so many people out. He's probably one of the greatest guys in the league, and he's so technical that he's the go-to guy for all that.
I agree with that.
He's been that guy for 30 years, dude. I mean, he's always been that way in this league.
I'm pretty sure, Joe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, were you working with Gene this week too? Because we noticed that you guys were in the same chat, and I worked with Gene a little bit at the beginning of the TNT season just to kind of give him some pointers on what I was doing. But obviously, Joe, you're better than I am as the
He said yes.
He said yes. And you can actually see.
Honestly, that's my favorite part of the AOLL is honestly I just got a Fantech wheel, the first time I ran it, it was the road race at Summit Point, and you guys can,
That was
It was boring. Don't worry about that one.
Yeah. No,
but I had issues, and I sent Joe a message, and he was sending me ideas and things to look at until 11:30 that night. And first off, thanks. It's working a whole lot better right now.
So Joe is a night owl, but he also wakes up at like 6 in the morning. So I don't get it.
Yeah.
He'll stay up until like midnight, 1, 2, 3 in the morning, and then like before I left out of the admin chat, like admin chat's like 6 o'clock in the morning. Hey man, just seeing what you guys are doing. He's ready to go. I'm like, dude, how are you doing this? I'm like going to bed by 10 o'clock, and I'm like struggling at 6.
Yo, he does too. He sends me messages. I like wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and Joe sent me like 6 messages at like midnight, and I'm like, oh well, I'll respond to him now. I mean, I just woke up, but I'll respond to him. He'll get it when he wakes up, and then he texts me back, and I'm like, dude, you were texting me at like freaking 2 o'clock in the morning. Why are you up already? I'm
laying floor.
Hey, your dad said yawn Summit Point. What's John doing over in the trees? That was priceless.
No, I said he's in the weeds.
No,
He was in the trees. But
he was in the trees.
There he is, back in the weeds.
He was in the trees. But hey, so I wanted to give you a little bit of love. And Ross runs super good out there as well. So it was cool to see it. And like I said, Joe, you could see my transition when I started working with Joe and TNT as well. And that's when I started running up front, and I, screwed up my guy over here, Josh, because I took it 3 wide and he couldn't hold it.
You've done that twice though in TNT, Dover and Richmond.
Well, I mean, the only one time I can
Same
really justify
incident,
that.
3 wide. Just
But there was
Well,
one
I mean,
that
look who it is, though. It is Larry.
if you ain't first, you're last. Hey,
You're always last, then.
you're not wrong. He's right about that.
Hey, at least you don't crash under caution.
That's
I was
factual.
gonna say you got that.
That's
going for you,
factual.
though.
Hey, and real quick, hey, rest in peace to the little kid. Well, I guess he wasn't so little, man. The son in that movie.
Yeah, he died this week. Yeah.
Yeah, I sent you guys a thing, Blake. I don't know. Did you see that, Blake?
see what?
The older son that was in Talladega Nights is
Walker
passed
from
away?
Ricky Bobby's son, Walker.
Yeah, man. So apparently he ended up, as he got older, he ended up joining the military and ended up becoming part of the 22, man. So
Yeah, that's cool.
well, not cool. It's kind of sad.
Part of the 22.
Part of the 22. That 22 suicides, every minute, I believe it is.
Oh,
day.
no.
Every
Really?
day.
Is that what he did?
Yeah, he killed himself.
That sucks.
Yeah, he served with the
there's
101st over in Afghanistan.
Cool as in like he went military. Obviously the
Well,
was sad.
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But hey, we're not going to take that down. So I'm looking at the points here. We talked. You're 4th in the Truck Series. You're now 2nd in the Cup Series.
I think winning every race since I've been back.
First off, you're number 1 in my heart.
I know.
All right. Yeah, man. You're sitting at 242 points. Justin Anderson sitting at 263. Joe said I need more extra session treatment. Thanks, Joe. That hurts. What do you do, man? I gotta know what makes you so fast.
Dude, I don't even know. I don't know if it's just experience in general on iRacing. I've done just an absolute ridiculous number of like official races. And like Johnny Edward, right? Like I was kind of his level when I first started out, and I was racing on a laptop G27. And literally, you can check my like IR graph. You can pinpoint the exact time I built the new system, upgraded my wheels, because the thing just shot right up. So I think it's just experience. Getting VR now that I'm really comfortable there, that definitely helps. But I don't know, something clicked once I started running like more second and top split races on the official side last year. Dude, racing with those like high 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 IR guys, you're gonna learn something from them, because I only run fixed stuff, so if I'm getting my ass beat, it's because of just straight up talent, right? So I think just running with those guys and kind of picking up, what they do, I mean, that really helped. And then once I got the tire wear issues kind of fixed, that helped the long run stuff for sure.
I was going to say that's why I wanted to see you run in the IVRL was that you'd always seem like you would not save the tires. That was always that you were burning the tires up really quick. And I thought, I'd love to see Blake get in the IVRL because these are long races. The only thing it would do would probably improve you because you get used to running that, long race.
I do appreciate the format over there. With the stages, the longer races. I used to do the NASCAR iRacing Series races every week. Those are like almost like full-length stuff, about 4 or 5 times a week. The full-length Daytona 500, Coke 600, stuff like that. So the longer format was cool. And for sure, tire wear definitely became an issue, those second 2 stages. I've been playing around with some stuff this year as far as like steering ratio and offset goes. That's really like the only 2 things you can really do to kind of help it out. Last year, I wouldn't even touch it. Guys are like, what's your offset? What's your ratio? Like, I haven't moved it. This year, all the 1.5 miles, I'm running 14-1, and I feel like it's been helping the tire wear. I don't think I'm nearly as bad saving tires as Joe thinks I am, but I will say at Phoenix last year, when we had that super tight setup, I stayed out thinking we were going to get some yellows, right? And then the tires, they just melted, right? And then the guys who pit, I started passing them again after about 15 laps. Adam was, a matter of fact, the last guy I held up on old tires. And then once they equalized,
that was terrible.
I started taking off again. But yeah,
it was terrible last year. I think it was like 2 or 3 laps down, and I had no incidents. I don't think I was just that terrible at it. This year I did pretty well at it. I like the more looser setup.
It was proper strategy.
Yeah, I mean, loose setups to me, that's the way to go. I feel like that opens up driver ability more. I feel like if it's tight, you're all in a box. You have to save the right front. And I think sometimes I struggle with that. Homestead, my least favorite track on the calendar. Last season, the Cup finale, that's why that race didn't go so well, because I just couldn't figure it out. I mean, Justin and Steve had it nailed. I couldn't get it right the whole week.
Yeah, I prefer the tight setup, unfortunately. So, like, I guess it was last week or the week before, you guys changed the setup to the loose setup, and I was like,
it was a Charlotte
crap.
race.
Was it Charlotte?
Charlotte truck race.
Supposedly Monday night, like, it was fixed, but there was 2 setups in there. One of them was labeled as a night set, so it was a night race. Everyone used that. And then Wednesday night we show up, and then we were on the day set, and the truck was just super tight. So
I just like to be known. I ran whatever it just automatically did because I'm so used to it just being a fixed setup that. And then when we got to practice, it was a completely different of the race day. It was a completely different setup, and I was screwed.
Randy was bad fast though.
Bad fast.
Randy's about to start getting a lot faster.
I hope I'm going to get a lot faster. I want to know what the heck the thing is from the kid that came out of the well. The well with the
so it was funny.
So
I shut off my camera because I heard a knock at my door, and then I cut my sound. I thought it was my wife getting ready to leave for work.
Your daughter's still there.
Yeah, come here.
Yeah, she's cute. She's very cute, but with her hair hanging out, she looked like that kid from the well or
Ring.
The Ring. Yeah, the Ring.
Yeah, she as she creeps around.
Yeah.
Now she's doing the elevator move. Ding.
So she's our
new mascot. She's our new mascot.
She popped out of nowhere. I don't know what she's
Hey, let's give the kid nightmares.
Oh God, Randy, your face already does, man.
Hey, Larry, you should let her drive for you. You might get better finishes.
You might be faster.
Can she reach the pedals?
Larry can't reach the pedals, so it doesn't really matter.
So I do want to point out that actually I do let my kids get on every now and then, and they do play. And actually, my daughter, my older daughter, she actually didn't do too bad. No, it's just practice around.
I was going to say
his average finish goes up.
The videos.
So, anyways, Blake. This is hold on.
Josh are talking about Joe's, videos of Joe's daughter when he posted up. I'm still waiting for her to join. Like I know,
I think
he teased it last year.
Be great because honestly, what I was seeing her do in the vet, I think she'd be competitive at least midfield.
If he wants her to join TNT, I'll unbind my chat button so that there won't be any incidents.
We'll leave the expletives out of it. At
Joe,
this point.
that is a good question. Joe, are you going to get your daughter to join TNT? Yeah, I know he's watching, so let's get that comment. First off, going back to Cup, I don't know where you guys deterred from or how it took that right hand turn, but
your daughter.
We never do.
Okay, well,
it just kind of happens, man. It's like we're on a good path, and then all of a sudden we just.
It's funny because John said it's okay, Larry, you could speak, and I'm the one guy that's like trying to keep this thing going straight, and you guys keep doing this to me, and this.
You should just one night. We should just come on here like one Friday, not talk about anything specific. And just let everything go.
First off, Joe just put a comment. He said his daughter would crush TNT.
I mean,
I want that challenge.
And Carl said, I believe it. So your own teammate just said she would squash you.
Look, if you
That's
don't talk
even
shit to your
him
teammates, you're not doing it
being
right.
self-deprecating.
That's a good point, Blake. That's a good point.
I just asked my dad, and I trash talk him every week. Like, how did you drive into that accident? Did you not see that one too? Stuff like that.
He's not even my actual teammate, and I shit talk him all the time.
You know the funny.
Blake, I remember you when you were a little kid, and your dad would be driving.
Yep.
And you hear this, Daddy, can I, go somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, I did grow up watching, AOL race. I think it was like Thursday nights. I'd be back there over his shoulder watching him race. So it is kind of cool, like racing with, the same group of guys, all those years later. It is kind of cool. I've always wanted to race online with him, and just being able to do it in this league finally has been pretty cool.
I gotta know, man. You're not a lady, so I feel comfortable asking. Dude, how old are you?
How old do you think I am?
I would say
I'm
maybe
not
like
allowed to guess.
This is dangerous.
27, man. You look like you're baby faced. I'd say you're younger than
Josh can't say anything because Josh called me fucking 40 last week, so I don't want to
I just said that you weren't the youngest.
Yes, which means I'm in my 40s because all you people are old.
Larry's what, 33?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
Larry nailed it.
35.
I actually, I will be 27 this May.
Wow.
Yeah,
I knew
And
right quick. Don't worry.
so I want to point out
no
something.
Oh my god, he's older than me and he looks younger than me. And if I wouldn't have said that, Josh would have been like, "Oh, you're younger than Nick."
Well, first,
No, I was going to go the complete opposite direction and say that he was 30 just to, show that I'm terrible at that.
You're just a dick. It's okay.
I lack the ability to grow
Yes.
any
Yes,
type
I
of
am.
facial hair, which doesn't help. I see Carl, Josh, Nick, they have all these thick ass beards, and I can't grow shit.
Okay,
So
I
well,
can't
No,
either.
This is
we gotta
actually
go for the
less
first
than
one.
what
American
it was
Indian in me
last
says
week.
no beards.
So first off, hold on. Here's the funny part. Blake, I'll give you one guess. Never mind. They already told you I was 33. My beard grows in very lusciously, but being in the military,
Yep.
I have to shave
It's a no-go.
every freaking day. It's so annoying.
Hey, Larry, can you keep us on topic?
I was pointing.
So I'll do it. We'll get away from beard talk.
All right, so
And our
this
Welcome
past
to the
Sunday,
GFM Beard Podcast.
all right.
I'll tell you what to use to keep your beard luscious and handsome, just like me,
So-
Carl, and Josh.
So your dad said, "Oh boy, the stories I could tell," and I'm going to point out
No.
that
You know,
your dad is going to be a guest on this I will have your dad on this podcast.
I was
very
going to say,
soon.
whenever you get him on here, bring me on here too. I'd love to be on here with him.
That would actually be pretty cool. We're going to get the stories. We want the stories. John, you're going to be on here very soon.
He did actually just get a webcam too, just in case.
I
Dude,
just
that's
like it to be
awesome.
known,
See, that's
when
what I'm
I asked
talking
him
about.
during the broadcast on Sunday how much responsibility for your skill he was responsible for. He kind of downplayed it a little bit, but I
100%.
feel like
I mean,
He
so like
wanted to go all in.
yeah, growing up, I did race karts at Langley Speedway. He and my grandfather, we'd be out there every other Sunday. And I remember going out to the kart track for the first time with him, and I would literally go into every corner. I would just jam on the brake, crank the wheel, I'd spin out every single time, right? So he kind of told me and taught me like how to actually get through a corner without spinning out. But as far as sim racing goes, I picked up iRacing in like 2014, so I don't know how much of that karting stuff transferred over, but I mean, the same general rules apply in like all forms of racing, basically. So yeah, it probably definitely helped.
So
Now, if I could get a looser cart back when I was racing, I could have won more races. Or if I wasn't 200 pounds heavier than everyone else, but we won't talk about that.
Hey, man, you look like you're in decent shape now. All right, probably better shape than I. Gas on the right, brake on the left. Your dad said.
Yep.
Who knew? I mean, hey, to be fast, do you really need a brake? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Hey, so let's talk. And I want to hear, and no offense to the TNT guys or anything like that, and I'm even going to shut my mouth because, guess what? I'm coming back to TNT now that I found this out, boys. So let's talk dirt. Let's talk dirt. I want to hear before we cut this off tonight. I mean, we're already at 10 o'clock. I want to talk dirt. So I want to start with Blake, man. How do you feel about this dirt race? That was a controversial race going into this season.
Originally, like, I'm not a dirt guy. I was just looking at my stats on iRacing. I've got like over 1,400 starts on oval, something like 64,000 laps in official racing. I have 20 dirt oval starts, right? So I'm not a dirt guy by any means. So I was kind of nervous, but the IVRL race the other night, that helped. Just getting my feet wet there a little bit and just learning what to expect on Sunday. So I was surprised to do as well as I did Tuesday, so I'm feeling pretty good going into Sunday, especially now that Justin won't be there, so he can't surprise me.
I think there's going to be quite a few people that are going to really surprise us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
it's a different style. Larry, you know what? I will be happy to be calling your name all night.
Hey, if there's one thing I love doing, I grew up racing dirt bikes and four-wheelers, and my favorite thing is being on a freaking 450 four-wheeler, man, and throwing that mother sideways and just sliding around a corner. So don't play with me, man. I'd much rather be on dirt than on asphalt any day of the week. Unless unless we're on a crotch rockets. If we're on crotch rockets, I'll play with you on asphalt. But I
can almost guarantee Randy Pepper is going to win this.
There is no chance Randy Pepper is going to win this race because Randy Pepper will be playing at Traders in beautiful New Smyrna Beach.
He will not be there.
Afternoon.
The only thing
I will not be there.
Was only having 10 or 15 cars. I feel like a lot of guys might sit it out just because it's dirt, but it's so much fun. Anyone who's not feeling it, I mean, just come out anyway. It's going to be a freaking blast.
I want to talk about that controversy right here in a second. Adam, I want to hear your thoughts and your feelings on this, man. Not the controversy, but I want to hear about how you feel about the track. And
so, I personally love it. I've dabbled in the dirt racing and iRacing for a while, and when it came about, you're right.
All right, real quick. I'm sorry. Before you finish that, I gotta read this. So Joe said, I can't wait to throw mud in Blake's face. PG-13, your dad said he needs a good facial, Joe.
Oh, God.
Okay, sorry, Adam, go.
That's your dad.
Yo, John's my new favorite person in AOLL.
Can we book John Gordon as a
Joe just wants
permanent
to make
guest?
it happen, so...
Blake, I guess get ready for Joe Dinsmore to give you apparently a facial that you really need.
Jesus.
He has to get in front of me first.
Woo!
Well, he will when you come to lap him.
I love Joe. We have so much friendly banter going back and forth. So the first week of the podcast, right? I'm waiting for him to show up. I'm waiting for him to get up there and bring the challenge.
Hey, he's calling you out for what you said on the podcast first week. I love it. Adam, let's get back to you, man. Let's get back where we were at.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I've put in quite a few laps so far. We had a great race. I didn't make the first dirt race. Unfortunately, I forgot what I was doing that night and wasn't able to do that. I don't know if I have my stuff or whatever, but I was able to make the second fun. I think I was racing. We weren't able to make it, so I made it the second one, and then it took me a while to figure out how to do it. I mean, I ran a whole bunch of practice laps, get out there. I somehow qualified, I think, 4th out of the 8 or 9 people that showed up. And then me and Josh started running together. I mean, I think I hopped in his team chat and we just started talking, trying to figure out how to do this. And I started figuring it out, and I started coming back towards the front. So I'm looking forward to it. I had a fast car on Tuesday night, but unfortunately I was laps down. Couldn't make up any of those spots. So I'm looking forward to Sunday night, hopefully stay clean and be able to actually pass for points.
Yeah, and let's dig into this controversy a little bit. As you said, Blake, man, there's a lot of people that just don't seem into it. And I know Adam can attest to the fact of the argument me and him had in the team chat. And I'm the firm believer that, hey, when we went into this season, it was said that we were going to run the Cup Series schedule, right? And they said we were running dirt at Bristol. Okay, well, iRacing released it a little late. We couldn't sit here, play, practice, whatever. My thing is, though, and I want to hear your opinion on this, and like I told him, we had the same thing when it happened at Daytona Road Course, last season, or this season. We said we were going to run Daytona Road Course. There was a lot of people saying, I'm not going to run that. I'm not a road course runner. What's your thoughts and opinions on the fact that even if we allowed Daytona Dirt to just take its time for iRacing to get it right,
Bristol Dirt,
or excuse me, yeah, thank you.
I want Daytona Dirt.
Oh my God, that would be great.
But what are
face just lit up? That would be amazing.
What are your thoughts at the fact
Daytona
that
Dirtona?
We would still have that same hindrance or that same fight with Bristol Dirt, 2-3 years down the line?
I think part of the reason why it got a little bit more complicated was when iRacing first released it, the car actually drove like you would kind of imagine a car would drive on dirt. And then a couple of days later, they patched and the car drove completely different, and it just didn't feel quite normal. It really took kind of relearning the car. Like, it just wouldn't slide around. So that change, I think, kind of scared us about what that could do to the actual race in general. But yeah, NASCAR, they're moving to running more road courses. And then now they're even, bringing dirt back. So I think, expanding your comfort zone and doing things that you're not comfortable with, it can only help you. I mean, running dirt is going to teach so many guys car control so quickly. You have to have it, You have to be able to keep the car in check on dirt. Yeah, that's not what NASCAR is known for. It's a NASCAR league. NASCAR runs, ovals. Up until last year, they ran 2 road courses a year. So I think the guys who are kind of scared or timid to run it, they should just come out, give it a shot. It's a once a year thing for now. Just come out and do it, I mean, there's really no pressure. I mean, if you suck, you suck. It is what it is, But you're going to learn something, and it's going to be a good time.
Even if you run it, and do terribly, you're still going to end up with more points than you would if you just take a provisional.
Yeah, I think some guys just don't want to be like constantly spinning out and bringing out yellows. So like, I do get that. You just don't want to be in the way. But that's why we have that self-spin rule where if you 3 self-spins, you kind of like self-police it. So just come out, give it a shot. Johnny's been throwing up practices all week. They did a fun race tonight before the podcast or during it, which I know Larry was highly disappointed at.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah, me too.
I would have liked to have
I couldn't run it.
I would have liked to have been a part of that.
Larry's talking. We can't hear him though.
Yeah, Larry, we're not.
My bad. I was talking to my wife, so I didn't want you guys to have to hear all that.
There you go.
I was still pissed. I'm still pissed about that.
I love Johnny's response to you though. He's like, "Not my problem." I love it.
Yeah, I'll throw one up for tomorrow, and we can all have fun.
Right there.
That one right there pissed me off too. Like,
Josh, if you do that, I will join. I would love to do that. That'd be so fun.
Josh, it's actually my turn to pay. I'll do it.
Freaking Chicagoans, man.
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing on Ohioans.
Officials last.
Joe said there's more tomorrow
season.
and Sunday morning as well.
So, well, first I'll be on the golf course tomorrow morning. But here's
I'll be at work.
So check this out. And this is my fight. This is one of my fights against it, and it's kind of like you were saying, Blake. If everybody wants to sit here and complain and say, "Well, this is not what NASCAR is," then let's go to the root what NASCAR is. Right? What was NASCAR? Adam, tell me what NASCAR was from Talladega Nights. Give me the quote from Talladega Nights. No. I want the quote from Talladega Nights. When he threw Reese Bobby threw water into Ricky Bobby's face, what was Ricky Bobby's reaction? What was it?
I'm gonna counter what happened. The last person that won on dirt was the King, and the King came out this week and said, "We are going backwards in NASCAR. We're not moving forward. We moved away from it."
He said dirt racing is not professional.
Well, but he's also old as shit, so...
Let's be quite honest, okay? The guy won 200 races when there was nobody on the track that had any talent, minus like 4 guys. And
He's not even the greatest 7-time champion.
So I don't want to hear anything Richard Petty has to say.
At the end of the day, like I said, Ricky Bobby had it right. NASCAR was built off of fucking, excuse my F word, but friggin' bootleggers trying to outrun the cops. And guess what? It started down at Daytona. They ran out there on the beaches and on the sand. We're bringing it back. They're bringing it back. Guess what? Be happy about it. Because guess what? I mean, there's excitement around running in downtown Chicago, right? But what did Joe just say right now? NASCAR is not. He's not happy about road courses because NASCARs are not built for road courses. They're going to Chicago freaking street.
Well, hang on. The next gen Cup car, like it's supposed to be, sequential gearbox. Single lug nut, right? So NASCAR is taking a huge shift in the direction they're going. Hell, they might be even moving the numbers to like the fucking rear of the car. But things are changing. I mean, you can either change or you can be old and grumpy and bitch about it.
Well, and my thing is too though is that what are we at with NASCAR now? When I grew up watching NASCAR, I watched true manufacturers building a car, right? Like when you think of back in the 90s, you had still Bobby Labonte, Terry Labonte, these guys, when you ran a Chevy, you ran a Chevy. When you ran a Ford, you ran a Ford. And when you were running, Dodge, you were running Dodge. Nowadays, it's basically one freaking chassis.
I'm not sure you're going with that one, though. Larry, I'm not sure you're going down the right road with that one, though. And the reason I say that is because there's more like manufacturer involvement in how these cars are made than ever before. If you go back to like the 2004 Daytona 500, right? You won't see Dale Jr. and Tony Stewart working together because they're driving Chevys. They're working together because they're friends.
But
you won't see Tony Stewart not working with Rusty because he's driving a Chevy and he's driving a Ford.
So
now they only will draft with those manufacturers.
Okay, well, hold on.
Chevy works and pits with Chevy.
Hold on.
And they won't help each other anymore.
Hold on. Now you're talking about drivers and being loyal to a manufacturer. You're not talking about manufacturer involvement. Are we talking about F1 racing where they build their own car?
If you look at Toyota, Joe Gibbs Racing doesn't build their own engines anymore. They build Toyota Racing Development Engine. Toyota gives them a plan and sends it to them. Hendrick builds the Chevy engines now. They don't build HMS motors. It's more manufacturer involvement ever than before.
Regardless, if they weren't making the changes in the chassis that they're making, NASCAR is going to go under. They had to reduce the cost somewhere, and because costs were getting out of control and viewership was dropping. They had to reduce the cost, and that's why they're going to one lug nut. They want to reduce the size of the pit crews because it was getting too expensive.
Because F1 is taking over, but that's also an international thing. But that's a different talk.
But if you look at it, the biggest thing that a lot of people are seeing is you look at how many Formula One drivers at the end of their Formula One career are making their way over to NASCAR and being competitive, to where they can't keep up where they were in Formula One because it's a young man's game.
The only one recently was Juan Pablo.
And God damn it, I loved him in Formula One and I loved him in NASCAR.
But he can hit the shit out of a jet dryer.
If you want to look at it, like, I forgot where I was fucking going with it. Josh, what did you say?
Language.
Oh, just Formula One drivers. And even if you look at Indy, a lot of times Indy drivers in their
I hate saying it because it's not old, because I mean we're all 20s and 30s with the exception of Randy, but he looks like he's 32.
Randy's facial expression when you said that, he just jumped up like a freaking. He had that little peacock moment, like, what is this dude talking about?
Hey, you guys want to go do a couple rusty trombones?
Oh, God.
Okay, I think I was going to reference something in reference to what you said. What did you say?
I thought it was going to be a hot Carl there.
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember
Rusty trombones.
Hot Carl would have been good. Hey, so let's go ahead. Hey, first off, John said, "Wow, mind your manners with your manners with your elders."
Hey guys, I just want to point out one thing. We're talking NASCAR, so I just wanted to throw a plug out to my buddy. Tomorrow, if you guys want to get up, you want to talk NASCAR, 866 Pit Lane, 1-800-866 Pit Lane. That's call the front stretch. Talk to my buddy Pat Patterson and be on the air tomorrow. You can talk all your NASCAR stuff tomorrow on his show.
Exactly. We're gonna get back onto what we were talking about with dirt and with the cups or AOLL. So we've kind of brushed up a little bit there on just that kind of resistance. Blake, man, I gotta know. Are we going to see another dominant performance, or?
I mean, I feel like the practice Tuesday night in IVRL. I mean, I damn near won that thing. One bad restart kind of sealed the deal. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know who in AOLL has dirt experience. I don't know who's going to show up. My teammate Brandon, he was in that IVRL race. He had a worse race than he should have had. I feel like he's going to be up there, Sunday night, assuming the heat races go fine and he doesn't get screwed like he did Tuesday night.
Marshall shows up. I think he's going to have a dominant. I've raced with Marshall on dirt before, and he's pretty well versed in the whole dirt world. It's what he did a lot before he moved over to oval.
So I actually want to say, from the second fun race that we did in the AOLL, Mr. Klingbill just ran away with it.
I was reeling him in, though.
You were. And that's why I'm going to go with Adam, man. I've raced with Adam plenty of times on dirt. Adam is stupid fast, but I got something for you, homeboy.
Spin out of turn 2.
I got something for him.
He spun in the heat race out of turn 2. He spun in practice out of turn 2. He spun in the race out of turn 2.
I didn't spin in the race. No.
You did. You did.
I wrecked.
I will go back in the broadcast.
I got wrecked by other people.
Is there a difference between wreck and spin when you do it yourself?
So
it wasn't mine.
I'm going to read this comment.
I ran into Tom twice. I ran into Patrick slammed me in the wall. I did not self-spin in the actual race. I did it in the heat. I'll guarantee it. I spun it twice in the heat.
Hey,
yes, you spun it like a
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you right now. Joe said he's got plenty of mud to toss at you, Blake. I'm going to reiterate Blake's comment there, Joe. You got to get in front of him first. So I'm just going to throw it out there.
And just grab with your hand.
Joe thinks that he's not a short run guy, so he's got to work on that short run speed.
I will say one thing. From my observation, if I had to pick between you and Joe, if we went short spurts, I'm going to throw this out there just because I love a little controversy. If we get a lot of Blake cautions, Blake wins it. Blake wins it, okay?
You don't have enough time for me to give you my opinions.
Blake wins it.
We can have all the time you want because controversy creates cash.
It creates content, which creates cash.
Oh, God, I hate Eric Bischoff.
I love it. Actually, really quick, I wanted to touch on this earlier, but Blake wasn't here for it. Blake, you've been in IVRL for what, 3 weeks?
2 races.
Two races? All of a sudden, you're like the villain. What the hell did you do to that fan base?
He just showed up and started doing good.
People do not like you over there.
Are you talking about like the Facebook comments in the race? Or?
They just don't like you.
They don't like you.
I don't know what's going on.
Talking about Don's brother or whoever that is, or
no, it's a few different people, I think.
Yeah, there was like 3 or 4 people that were just like totally crapping on you throughout the entire race. I was like, man, Blake's not going to win most popular driver this year.
Sounds like an AOLO race.
I want to point out something, man. I want to point something out, Blake, and I don't think this is like honestly like a hate on your character or anything like that. But I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten freaking messages from people that says, "Keep up the Blake hate in the podcast," and I'm like, and I feel like that's a respect thing, man. Like I'm not gonna lie, like personally, you as a person, you're a phenomenal person, man. You're a great dude.
I feel like Michael Jordan when he's like, "And I took that person."
You like, but you just in racing, like every time we race and you lap me, I'm like, this guy, I hate this guy. Can I wreck him? I just want to wreck him.
My goal in any race with Blake is just not be lapped.
That's
Honestly.
it. That's it.
Larry, if you want to wreck him, that's fine because it creates content, which
My
creates.
favorite thing in TNT this year has been doing the practices in the road course and like being a second faster than Josh.
I hate it. I hate it when I see you show up in practice. I'm just like, damn it, I cannot get first no matter what.
I hate it because it screws up my timing and scoring, okay? Because then I look at the end of it and it's there.
Blake walks in and he runs 2 laps and then dips for like 45 minutes and comes back and he still has the fastest practice within just those 2 laps he runs, and that's what pisses me off.
So
that's who he is. He's just fast.
Blake, I have to tell you something. This is kind of funny. The other night when you ran practice at Nashville, your first practice, I was faster than you, and I thought I won the Indy 500 because I was faster than Blake.
You want to hear why? Okay,
because you were only driving with one hand?
He was using it.
He was blindfolded.
I was driving one hand.
So Atlanta last week in the AOL Cup Series, I hit the wall like twice, right? Apparently, Fanatec doesn't, stress test their wheels enough because I might have hit it 3 times out of anger and cracked it. So Nashville, Monday night in practice, I'm running it with my F1 wheel or my wobbly ass oval wheel. I can't do this, so I cut out after a couple laps, and I just didn't care to be fast that night. I wasn't feeling it, so.
So what you're telling me is the F1 wheel that I just got is absolute crap on ovals, even though.
Don't use F1 wheels.
I just
from that.
love how he's just totally stole my thunder. I mean, I felt so great that actually
Randy, we were proud of you.
Something, and now he just tells, "Oh, I was running crap."
So,
Randy,
hold
Randy,
on.
I think you're better than Blake. Honestly, think that you were faster than Blake?
Well, hold on. Hold on. To caveat
I thought I finally did something right. I actually had a goal.
What's that? Hold on. Go ahead. Yeah,
that's
cheap junk there.
Well, in Blake had actually
Mad Cats.
when I was going to Fanatec, I actually consulted Blake because I knew Blake was running the at the time I think you were running the CSL Elite.
Yeah, I've got all their gear.
And I was like, "Hey man, what do you think about this?" And he was like, "Well, I broke this one thing, but it's great." And I was like, "Well, fuck, if Blake could do it."
Fanatec, that's like the cheapest mid-tier stuff, but you will eventually run into why it's affordable-ish, because you will run into their cost-saving measures eventually. My dad, he's having issues with his Fanatec pedals right now.
I was going to say, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, wait, that's the mounting mechanism you have?
No,
and I'm just like,
well, check this out. So that's mine.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one I had, right? That screw that stripped my wheel, so I can't even use it anymore.
So
the shifter, $250. I can't use it because it'll go into second gear when I shift to fourth. Like, what the fuck is that?
Well, I guess Fanatec's not going to sponsor this show.
So now,
to Fanatec, this portion of the podcast is not approved by myself, Carl, or Randy. If you would like to sponsor either of us, we would gladly take it.
Anyways, hey,
fuck those guys.
I'll be glad to take this Thrustmaster and throw it down the window.
Hey, no, seriously, I have nothing. First off,
this wheel, but I'm only 2 weeks.
I've had this thing since actually Black Friday, like right a week before Black Friday. I've not had an issue with this thing, man. I got the CSW.
You had some firmware issues.
The firmware, but once we solved that, and it's popped up a time or two, but man, it's an easy solve. And the CSW 2.5, man, it's been phenomenal.
I've got the generic gamer wheel.
But I want to throw something out there real quick. Again, we were talking about Joe, and we were talking about Joe, how he fancies himself as the long-term runner, and he doesn't run those hot laps. And I would be lying if I didn't say that I truly do feel like that. Like, in a longer term that Joe has been faster over the long term outside of yourself, that you are just stupid fast off of the
Why
short
does that
term.
not surprise me, Randy?
But I want to point out that you yourself had said, I'm working on my long-term speed, and it's really shown this season.
Yeah, the finale for Cup last year, that Homestead race, that was I don't know if humbling's the right word, but it was a eye-opening experience getting ass whooped like that by Justin and Steve. Just even in practice, I qualified the worst out of the Final Four. I had nothing, and then even in the race, I couldn't even keep up with those guys, and they were so much faster the entire time. And I was like, well, I can't let that happen this year. So I went to work trying to figure it out, and my first race back, I took the pole at Homestead, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, long run speed, man. If we don't get the Blake cautions, I got to rely on tires, maybe. So.
Well,
by the way,
go ahead.
Blake cautions did help me at Nashville because I finished the race with like 0.7 gallons in the tank. I was going to run out if we didn't have at least one or two of those.
See, I freaking called it.
Caution.
Hey, so I'm going to explain it, then I'm going to let Blake explain it, and we'll see if it matches up. A Blake caution is a caution here and there that allows Blake to actually regain his composure and be able to run at a very fast rate until the next caution comes out.
So does Blake call them?
No. It's just it just seems very timely. Just happens to happen.
And are we sure that Blake's not just pushing the button? Oh, look, there's a caution.
I possibly.
I've got the Buffalo Wild Wings button under my desk with the yellow flag.
That little pea shooter, he's shooting out people's tires. Pooh,
And this segment of the
NASCAR
podcast
98
is brought to you
paintball
by
mod.
Buffalo Wild Wings. If you would like some Buffalo Wild Wings, join one of our wonderful stores and have some great wings. I prefer the boneless.
Hey,
My goodness,
It's
Larry,
that
you're not
Thursday
reading
is
the
where it's at.
sponsorship, right?
It's better than Carl throwing his beard brush out the side of the car.
Spicy garlic boneless, actually. Hey, so I'm gonna hit this real quick. We're gonna hit this. We're gonna cut this, man. We're about 2.5 hours in. First off, I want to throw out there, Blake, man. This has been an absolute blast. Justin, if you're still watching, he has been commenting. He did not comment to the fact that he should have been asleep because he's old. Or no, excuse me, that was Steve. I think Justin's old too. I don't know. We didn't get to see him on camera. Hey, I want to go around the room. Let's give a pick for Bristol Dirt. And then I want to take an even deeper outlook because we're going to hit Easter weekend and then we're heading to Martinsville. So I want to grab a little bit of love on that. So Bristol Dirt, we'll start from the top right. So Carl, let's go.
All right, it was kind of mentioned earlier. It was my winner pick before coming into this. William Klingbill is going to win this race.
All right, Blake.
For Bristol Dirt, I don't know if it's not me. Yeah, Billy or Adam, I would be good picks. Martinsville, are we making picks for Martinsville?
Hey, you can give me a little love for Martinsville too. I'm cool with that.
I have to pick myself, man. That's my favorite track. If I don't win Martinsville, like I'm personally disappointed in myself. So I'm gonna.
Fair enough.
With Billy for it. I mean, he showed off during the practice that night and during the race, and then raced with him a couple times in the open practices we have. He's consistent. He's fast. He goes around the track, so I'm gonna go with him. And Martinsville, I don't know. That's a crapshoot. Depends on who has the better braking skills.
Me.
All right, let's hit up Nick.
Bristol, I'm going to go with Adam. And then, follow the consensus, Blake for Martinsville. I mean, Blake hasn't done anything to change my mind that it's not going to be Blake, so.
He's just pulling up his
Blake's done nothing to change my mind.
That right there, right there is the biggest douchiest move I think I've seen yet, and I love it, Blake. All right,
Blake,
so
I point, man.
Blake, can you create a diecast so that I can have a diecast of the Endeavor racing car?
Okay, so first off, stop right there, and I'm gonna say something. We're gonna keep it PG-13, but do you want to wife his manhood? Is that
No, I just enjoy diecast. So
okay. Well, anyway, so I'm gonna give it.
My turn. I didn't pick.
You're the lowest. You're the last. You're the last.
I'm the bottom.
You're the bottom.
I start.
You're the bottom.
We're all in a different position on everybody's screen.
Yeah, we're all different.
Okay,
No,
well then I'm gonna go ahead and let you know you're at the bottom. So I'm next. Then we're hitting up Josh over here.
Okay.
Sorry, man.
I can't.
At least I know your last name's Laston and not Lashton.
Laston.
I just let it go.
Hey, I know.
Did you?
Hey, so Bristol Dirt, I'm taking Joe, man, after I watched him run those hot laps. The dude was sawing the crap out of the wheel. Joe Dinsmore, man, I'm giving you the love on that one. And
Even though he hates it, he has been abandoning the side. He's been boisterous.
So no offense, I'd be kind of a D-bag myself if I took myself, so I'm not going to take myself. I'm going to go Joe.
No one else will either.
Don't worry, Larry. Don't worry, Larry. No one's picking you anyway.
I know. Now, as far as Martinsville, after I just did the horrible thing and said that Justin was asleep, I'm going to take Justin because that was a terrible thing to do. Sorry, Justin.
Yeah, Justin called you a douche, by the way.
I know. That's why I'm calling it for him.
Okay.
Honestly, if we're talking Bristol Dirt, just from what I've seen, running with guys, other than me trying to hit Blake over the finish line in a heat race and give him the win, honestly, I think Klingbeil he's going to be tough. And again, since it's a bit of a wild card race, I think we're going to get a wild card winner.
I'll never root for the guy in my entire life. Screw that dude.
Dude,
I don't think you guys realize every time somebody picks him how much it pisses me off.
Drunk Larry, this is great.
No.
That point in the night.
No. It is not Drunk Larry. This is what Randy's seen. This is aggravation that has built up over the past few weeks.
All right.
No offense.
I'll let you have that one.
Nope.
All right, Grumpy.
No, I will literally. If you really think he's about to win, I will cancel my tea time tomorrow morning. And I'll sit here on this damn game all day to make sure he does.
There's a practice
I think he'll
Saturday night
finish
and
ahead
Sunday
of you.
morning.
What's up?
There's a pretty good chance he's probably going to be up there.
Honestly,
You should cancel your tea time.
You may want to cancel your tea time because
now I'm really going to make it a principle.
Run.
I'm going to go shoot a freaking 70 tomorrow morning, and I'm still going to beat him.
First off, I'd like to see that 70.
He's going to shoot a 70 on the front nine.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that the front nine?
Who's he talking about? Me or Billy?
83. I'm talking about Billy, not you, Blake. Hey, I ain't got a big issue with you, man.
Blake, at this point, is there really a difference?
No, Blake is fun to pick on, but Blake's a lot of out of respect. But after that crap that Billy pulled, nah, man, like no.
Well, I'm gonna stick with, despite like some of the issues that the times I may have gotten hit by him in the TNT last year. Honestly, I'm just gonna go off of what I've seen.
Yep.
And if we're talking Martinsville, I remember watching last year, Blake. I can't bet against you. Honestly, it was okay.
Can I also do a
brag.
Martinsville pick? Because I didn't do a Martinsville.
Yeah,
pick.
go ahead.
Part of that. I'm gonna go Justin Anderson, Martinsville, just because I want to be different.
So I think what we're saying here is that
I
Blake
took him.
might spend too much time on iRacing.
You guys realize
Oh, we lost Blake again.
I'm here.
There you go.
Yeah, so like, if it wasn't me, it would have been Justin or Steve winning every race last season in Cup, and like it'd probably be Justin winning every race in Cup this year. Out of fairness, though, that Martinsville race last year, we did run 93 laps of the 150 under yellow. So
I also want to point out that, and this is one thing that I wouldn't have seen after last week's podcast because. No offense, Justin called you a douchebag a lot.
I had to talk to him about part of it afterwards.
He literally just said I wouldn't bet against Blake at Martinsville. So, I mean he's showing you the love, man, and it's a lot out of respect, and I know that coming out of him. But Randy's
trolling people.
Randy, let's hear it.
What do you say, Mr. Troll? What the hell are you looking at?
You guys have the same hair.
Sometimes I really do. I don't know if you've been hit in the head with too many guitars or stall a fumes
Skateboards.
or what.
Skateboards, man. I rode skateboards a long time, and and surfing and all that stuff. I have fallen quite a few times and had concussions from skateboards. Trust me.
Yes.
Now I'm
sir.
going to say for the racing bit here this week under dirt, I'm going to go with Blake. I do like what he did in the IVRL. I think he feels a little redemption coming to him. So I'm going to pick him for that race. And then Martinsville, I'm going to pick myself. I think I'm going to... No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, take it. Take it and own it.
Man,
Own it.
No. No, I'm actually going to... I got to go with Blake again. I mean, I hate to say this. I mean, he's right here. I hate throwing out the people who are in here, but I got to go with because the stats don't lie, for one, and that's just the way it is.
Well, I
so
mean,
Blake's going to win the next two races.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, I mean, this has shown one thing that there's a lot of respect out there for you, man. As much as anybody might want to talk a little crap about you, dude, it's literally out of respect.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Usually.
I'm going to throw out the hot laps from the 24 Hours of Daytona. Jesus.
Let me
Holy
just say
crap. I was
glad to have you
jealous
on your
and
team.
excited to have you on the same team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, who wants to run pole or do the qual? Everybody, Blake.
Randy's been trying to speak for like the last 5 minutes.
I'm just going to say this. Okay, since I am the old timer here, when people don't like you, it's because they're jealous of you and they want to be like you. So this is the thing. Everybody wants to be like you, and the worst thing you can do right now, what you're doing, I'm going to give you some advice that we have in the music industry. Don't ever let your head get too big to get through the door. All right? That means you leave your ego at the door. When you get in that car, you just drive your car and do your job. All right? Don't let this crap get to you, because you're only as good as you can live up to. But I mean, you're pretty much doing what you need to do.
I have 2 points off of that. All right,
What?
I'm going to throw 1 point. Justin Anderson wants to clarify something in the comments. Actually, now 3 points, because Joe just threw something out there. First off, Justin said, "I don't dislike Blake. Dang it, I just like harassing him," which I believe. And Joe said, "I'm not jealous of Blake at all. Just an FYI." And my third point is that
Joe's old, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't count to him. It only counts to the newcomers that he.
First off, Joe is not old. Quit talking about my friend like that.
He's old like me.
I do feel bad that the most controversial thing that's happened in this league was me and Joe.
It's all good. But my third point is that you said that people that want to talk crap, they're envious of you. First off, you're completely wrong, because I don't care if he hears this. 83, if you're out there, screw you, buddy. I will flat out call it.
Yo, bottles of Tito are talking now.
No, it's literally not. First off, I drank way more on the last one, but you know.
If Larry wasn't like the guy on this podcast, I'd send him home for the night.
No, like I said, out of all people, when I went into that race, I was angry already, and I've held that grudge, and I still hold that grudge, and I don't really care. Like, I never
Larry,
got an apology for you being an a-hole, so screw you.
Do you know how you die at a young age? By letting anger and grudges take up your soul.
Why I would agree with you, I disagree with you, because I got 3 precious little gems that filled my heart with more love than anything could ever fill my heart with hate. So you seen one of them behind me earlier, so no, you're wrong.
I have that too, and they're very furry, and one of them keeps trying to get onto the podcast.
my little furry.
Jesus Christ! Hey, all right. I'm gonna end the podcast like this. We can have our sidebar after this, but I have to end this podcast like this because Blake.
The other leagues.
Yeah. You know what? All right, we'll hit that real quick, and then I'm gonna hit Blake's comment because Blake, that was a perfect comment. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know what I'm talking about. First off, we see your fur baby back there. Yes, sir.
To get on camera. Anyway, go ahead. Larry.
All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to run them down again.
AOL.
So check this out. We're going to hit Carl. We're going to hit Blake. We're going to hit freaking Adam. Then we're going to come back down to Nick, myself, Josh, and then Randy. Go ahead.
What series are we making picks for?
What series is this one for?
Let's hit all of them. So we're going to start with IRVL. We're going to go to AOLL TNT, and then the truck.
It's the IVRL Butt Kicker Cup Series, not IRVL.
Thank you. I call it all of that.
I missed the IVRL race. This
Trucks
week
are at Richmond, just so everyone's aware.
Thank you.
Yep. So I'm gonna have to skip on IVRL because I haven't caught up enough on this week. Next week I'll be more prepared. For trucks, I am picking my teammate Joshua Hanner. I think he's gonna get a win. And for TNT, I think Tim St. Jean's going to break through. He's been the fastest multiple times. Actually, the single race that I won, he was the fastest on the track that night. And Chris, sorry. Tim was the fastest. He lost that race because he drove very cleanly. Tim's going to break through and win this week.
It's on you, Blake.
TNT, I'm going to go Cody Leland. Winning 2 in a row to finish out the season cleanly this time, no asterisk.
To be determined.
Well, he's predicting this.
Sportsman at Richmond. I don't want to pick myself all the time, but Richmond's my other favorite track. The Virginia tracks.
Then take it. Then take it. Own it. Own it.
I'll pick me. Okay. And then IVRL, Martinsville. Again, I can't not pick me at Martinsville. I love that fucking place.
Then take it. Own it.
Go there. I'm sorry.
No, I'm cool with that.
With Adam, you muted.
No, he's talking.
I couldn't pick myself for
TNT,
TNT,
it looked like you started to talk, and then nothing came out.
See, Nick, just don't be so hasty, man.
Yeah. Hey, blah! Yeah, but for the TNT series, I'm gonna go with Blake Ziti. I think he's gonna have a phenomenal night next week.
Oh, not to throw anyone's business out there, but by the way, TNT, there's a couple of little rivalries brewing in TNT, so
yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
Hold up. How are you bringing that at the end of the podcast? We need to talk about this off air because
we've already talked about some of them.
Well, we're going to talk more. We need to talk about more post
next week.
Later.
Well, I want to hear. Y'all can leave. I want to hear about it after.
All right.
Nosy.
Right, Sportsman, we're gonna be at Richmond. I'm gonna go with Dan Shirley. He's been consistent all year. I keep picking him. That's who I'm going to go with. And then for IVRL, I'm not sure. I haven't really raced with these guys on a small track. And I'm not familiar with the top guys there. But I'll go with Greg Holt. I think he had a horrible night this past Tuesday night. I think he's going to try to redeem himself.
Next.
All right. Well, for TNT, I'm going to go with continues to get better. So I know it's going to happen. Anthony Cirillo. I think he might get one this week. For the trucks, kind of dumb to not pit Blake. It's probably going to be Blake. He's just so consistent. And then IVRL is going to probably be one of the more interesting races of the season. From everything I've heard from the guys I've talked to about that league this week for Martinsville, there's a lot of guys who are going to contend for that win. It's going to be a pretty tight field. So I'm going to go with Will Cannon getting his second win of the season.
You're
Larry.
Nothing, Larry. Okay, you're actually muted.
Thank you. IVRL, Joseph Causey. TNT, I'm gonna have to agree with you, man. I'm gonna have to go with freaking Shrillo. I think he might finally break one through. I think the CCR guys might fight it out, man, over these points and cause each other
wreck each other.
Exactly.
Well, CCR guys aren't making friends, so
No, we aren't.
They never have.
Now, as far as trucks go, a lot of people protecting points, man. Blake's the only one really fighting for him, so I'm going with Blake.
I have a lot of winning to do to not let people down. This is a lot of pressure.
Good.
Yeah.
We're good.
And I'm not going to help matters either because, honestly, I've seen you run at Martinsville, so IVRL, I'm going to have to go with Blake in all honesty. Then, if we go sportsman, that's a really tough one, just given that it's Richmond. I got to go with Mr. Gottschalk again.
For sportsman?
For sportsman.
Has he been
doesn't
running
run the truck.
Really?
No.
No, he doesn't. No, Joe Dinsmore does, but not Steve.
He's run like one or two like all throughout, but he's not a consistent weekly guy in that series.
Also, Carl Henderson.
That's actually a.
If you could stay out of trouble, I would actually say you could be up there, but
He might be in the top
finds
12.
you.
Too much breaking.
Honestly, it just looking at Richmond and seeing that it's kind of short track, kind of intermediate. I got to go with Dan Shirley. In all honesty,
Solid pick. He's good.
He's always been in the mix in both of those kinds of tracks, and TNT. I'm actually going to go with Mr. Oliver because he has to prove his point over Carl to where he's probably going to be going all out. Just to
Josh
make
is
sure
just going to be like, I'm just going to putter on the track. I got this in the bag.
That's exactly what I did this past week. I just want to finish in the top 5. I don't care. I just want the points.
Hey,
Dan Shirley's off this week.
Yeah, I was ready to say that just came in.
What?
Hey, Josh.
I'm just not picking for sports.
That's a good pick right there.
You know what? At that point, I'm going to throw the love this way. Larry, win it.
Wow.
I don't even run trucks, baby. Nah, I'll run it for you.
I was going to say, I saw you this week. I saw you win a few times.
I'll practice. I will actually practice for you.
Is it Richmond?
Yeah,
That's coming.
I'd have to show up for that.
I don't know. Don't even care.
You're not allowed to. You're in a truck.
Hey, I'll take it. And guess what? I'm going to go out there and I'll do exactly like I did when I tried to beat Blake's time last time. I will literally stay up until I beat it. And then I will figure out how to run that track. And I will watch his laps.
Be old
because, no, I beat his time before. And it was funny when I did. Because when I did, I sent it in the group chat. And Johnny was like, you do realize Blake stays up later than everybody. And he waits for somebody to beat his time. And then he comes back and beats everybody's time. And I'm like, yo, fuck this guy.
He did tell me you beat it. So.
Yeah, and then he told me that he sent you a message saying that I beat it.
Yeah, he did.
And I was like, that was my claim to fame.
Oh, all right, so it's my turn. I'm going to say in the IVRL, I'm going to go with Christian Converse getting his first win because he's been hungry. Yeah, I'm going to go with him. And
bad luck at Atlanta.
He does. He's had bad luck all around, but I think he's fast. I think he's due. So I'm going to go with him this week. For the TNT, I'm actually going to go with Chris Oliver as well. And in Sportsman, I'm going to go with Blake. So those are my picks. Quick and
Blake
easy.
pretty much have to win everything.
I just want to point out that Chris Oliver dipped on us tonight. He did say he was going to be here and never showed up. So Chris Oliver.
That's why I didn't pick him.
Listening,
I'm upset.
This is you.
He's
you
catching the kids tonight.
You heard a lot of people in the feelings tonight. But and I also want to point out your dad said, "Hell, I beat his time at Oxford." So
he did.
Yeah. So I mean, he's taking all my thunder away. Thanks, John. But with that being said, I mean, we ran, Jesus Christ, almost an hour
every week.
Yeah, God, I'm so tired,
dude.
man.
It was a good one.
All right, send us away, Randy.
Give it to us.
All right, folks, we're gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching the Ghostfire Media podcast. I'm Randy Pepper. Along the crew, Adam Wood, Nick Adams, Carl Henderson.
Randy forgot our fucking
Josh
names.
Laston. No, I'm looking. I'm just looking. No, what I'm doing is I'm looking at everybody. So I'm just.
You're not even drinking.
No, I know. And Josh Laston and Larry Patrick in the middle. And thanks, Blake, for showing up tonight, and also Harvey Abrams for showing up. And guys, I'm tired. This is way too.
Hey, so it was a wonderful evening, man. We got to thank our special guests, Harvey Abrams, Blake Gordon, and then our normal people, man. We got Adam, Carl, Josh, myself, Larry. We got Nick and Randy from everybody at Ghostfire Media, man. We hope you all have a